Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the Labor Day sale at Ace. Now through Monday only, buy 2 gallons of our top paint brands, Valspar, Clark & Kensington, and Royal, and get the 3rd gallon free. And with the Ace Extra Mile promise, if it ever takes more than 1 trip to complete your paint project, we'll bring you what you need and delivery's free. Don't miss the buy 2, get 1 free paint sale, only at Ace. Limit 2 free gallons of equal or lesser value. Prices may vary. Delivery subject to availability. Visit acehardware.com for more details.
Do you enjoy a crisp, refreshing soft drink, but hate choosing between the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners? Well, now you don't have to, thanks to Zevia. With Zevia, you don't have to worry about any potential harmful side effects since they have no caramel coloring and use the natural plant-based sweetener stevia. Zevia offers 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling wine, and 4 different energy drinks. That gives you a ton of safer and delicious options for you to enjoy. It's the safest soft drink on the market, made with ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. There's nothing artificial in any of their products, and there isn't any calories either. It's a miracle. Now, Zevia is giving our fans a chance to try it yourselves for free. If you live in the U.S. or Canada, just head over to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. They'll mail you a coupon to try a free 6-pack just like that. Go to Zevia.com/podcast now and get your free Zevia. Enjoy the show.
The following advertisement has been paid for by the big guy Ryback. Are you hungry? You know I'm so hungry, big guy. Hey, Mark, what brings you here? So I'm just here to hang out with my all-time favorite superstar of all time. What brings you here? Well, I'm doing a paid advertisement for Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com. Big guy, that is music to my ears. Do you tell the people about your Ice So Hungry grass-fed whey protein isolate, the best tasting protein on the market? Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the strongest pre-workout on the market, and the big guy all-natural testosterone booster, my personal fave. Big guy, you're on to something with this Feed Me More Nutrition. It is some top quality stuff. Well, thank you, Mark. It is. Feed Me More Nutrition. Premium, quality, the highest quality supplements on the market today. Available now at feedmemore.com. But wait, there's more. Just for being a listener of Conversation with the Big Guy, you can now save 10%. That's right, save 10% at feedmemore.com on all Feed Me More merchandise and apparel and Feed Me More Nutrition with discount code PODCAST10. PODCAST10. Podcast 10. Thank you, guys.
Pat, slap my ass! It's time for Conversation with the Big Guy, pal!
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the big guy, Ryback, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Buck.
Happy to be here. My name is Pat Buck, as you just heard, and we're back on another edition of Conversation with the Big Guy. And before we begin, well, I'm sure you have something to say.
Are you all right to go on here? I know you said the hot wings had messed you up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the keto diet that we talk about is great, but when you decide to eat 30 atomic wings before recording your favorite podcast.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man. They're just small wings, but they have cayenne pepper on them. We were delayed in recording because I know you were ready to go with your notes, and I'm like, just give me like 10 more minutes because I'm stuck on the old Squatty Potty. Which I hope sponsors. Do you use a Squatty Potty by any chance or no?
I do have a Squatty Potty, actually. I just saw it in my closet. I have a closet in the downstairs bathroom. And I had to go get another roll of the Feed Me More tape for orders today. And the Squatty Potty's been put in there. I quit using it like
oh, really?
a year. I used to use it. I used to leave it sitting out in the downstairs bathroom. And it kind of I just got sick of I don't know. I go to the bathroom fine. I've never had any problems ever going to the bathroom because I do the fiber. So it just seemed like, because with that, you got to it's just different. You got to get your legs hiked up on it, and it's good. It works. It definitely, it's a cool thing. And the technology behind it, it's proven. It puts you in the perfect position to shit.
Yeah, but it's absolutely great.
I just think I was like, well, I never have any problems going to the bathroom, so I I don't need this. Maybe if if one of these days, if I'm really constipated or something, maybe I'll pull it out and.
Yeah. But you brought up a good point, because I just started doing before we plug our stuff, but like that fiber, you're right. It's a game changer where you don't need the squatty potty. That's a true, if you want to change your bowel movements, add fiber. The colon cleanse, old stevia. Man, this is a gross podcast. But I add that.
Really shitty podcast. That fiber, I can't tell you enough. The colon cleanse fiber sweetened with stevia. They have ones with aspartame and sucralose, but if you're going to do it with stevia. Go all the way with it. And I took it earlier today, and it hit me earlier. It's just like it's. You can just tell you're just very relieved. There's no partial shit, if that makes sense.
You're getting everything out clean.
You're getting your money's worth on your shits.
And then on top of that, with the old squatty potty. See, I had the original version, and then Zach Ryder's a big fan of the squatty potty, and
Daniel Bryan turned me on to it, actually.
Oh, really? So, but Ryder, apparently the squatty potty I had was out of date, because I didn't know they had different sizes. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, I think I don't think it ever goes out of date, but I mean, it's a piece of plastic, but it was newer technology, I guess you could say.
Well, I had the low one. I didn't know they made, so I got the biggest one possible. I think it's like 7 or 9 inches off the ground.
Yeah, that's what mine is. It's a pain in the ass a little bit. You got to I remember when I'd come home off the road, and I would always use it, and I'd always getting off the road, and I'd have my jeans on, and I'd have to pull my I'd have to literally take my clothes all the way off to get my legs on it, because my jeans, I couldn't get my legs on it with my jeans on still. Really, so I was eventually I was like, man, what am I doing? I was just like, this stuff, it's cool, it helps you. It's really a good thing. I never had a problem going. I was like, man, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I feel like the same exact way I have to go.
And it's weird. I don't know if I had to explain it to people that had never seen it before when they come over. They're like, what is this? I'm like, well, you put your feet on it. And I live in, outside of Manhattan. I live in Queens. So I have a very small apartment, and it's it hits the door when you close it. So it's always awkward.
Yeah.
But I like it though.
Zach Ryder, I heard, they sent him a purple woo-woo one.
Yeah, he has an engraved squatty potty. So
poo.
You know it.
Let's get back to the old show. So what do you got?
Let's stick to the old format. Here we go. You guys, the P.O. Box of the Big Guy for all fan mail. I always get back to you guys. Thank you very much for all your letters and your support. I truly love you guys. The P.O. Box 752-740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. Feed Me More Nutrition is now back available, guys, on Amazon. There's no ifs, ands, or buts here in the United States. Get your Feed Me More Nutrition on Amazon with free Prime shipping when eligible if you participate in that program, which is well worth the $99 for the free 2-day shipping on everything on Amazon, including Feed Me More Nutrition. Also available on feedmemore.com, allpumpyouup.com, and Spartan Nutrition here in North Las Vegas. Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, the motivational book by the Big Guy. Available now on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and Audible form. Fuel Meals, the personal meal prep service of the Big Guy Ryback. Save 10% with discount code The Big Guy. Feeding Time 2.0, my new theme music I'm using on the Independence, which sounds very much like it's Meat on the Table. It sounds very much like Meat on the Table.
Not to cut you off during your own plugs, but we may be changing your persona on the Independence, and that's going to be the theme of this episode going forward.
Yes, later on in the show tonight, we actually both came up with 5 different gimmicks for the Big Guy Ryback to use on the Independence to get a little buzz, to create some newsworthy buzz and get a little sympathy from the fans. On your end, mine's not going to create any sympathy. Holosync Meditation, available on feedmemore.com. It is my personal meditation program that I've been using for the last 6 years. It's great stuff. Check it out on feedmemore.com. That's Holosync Meditation. We got Conversation with the Big Guy, guys. We now have the official Twitter for Conversation with the Big Guy at CWTBG. Let's see. No shows this weekend. And also the Facebook, guys. check out the official Facebook for Feed Me More Nutrition, and you can find that at Feed Me More Nutrition on Facebook. That's my official page. And that's all I got this week.
All right. Now that I got through my other show, which I'll review next week after I have that experience, but July 13th, it's a Thursday, it's at the Freedom Fest State Fair in Allentown, New Jersey. Ryback will be on it. Cody Rhodes will be on it. Hornswoggle will be on it. All my guys, I'll be wrestling there, a whole lot more. WrestleProOnline.com. And again, CreatorProWrestling.com. We just had a great show last Saturday. We will be back in July, hopefully in St. James. You can check that out at CreatorProWrestling.com. I believe that's July 29th, or it might be another day. I don't have it in front of me, but it's sometime in July. So thank you guys for coming, and that's all I have for this week.
Short list this week. Nothing wrong with that. More conversation.
More summertime. Wrestling dies down a little bit. I mean, you got a full schedule in July, but
yeah.
You know,
yeah. It's great. No, this is every week, man. I think I do have one weekend off next weekend, which we'll talk about actually. But other than that, it's every weekend. So yeah, I have no complaints.
How was your week, big guy?
Great week. Other than I was out at the Comic Con for Niagara Falls, the Niagara Falls Comic Con last weekend, and it was a great turnout, man. I actually got to sign next. Do you remember the show Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah.
I used to watch that as a kid, but I was really tiny. I know my dad always had it on.
Of course.
The guy is it John Schneider?
What was his character? Do you remember?
The blonde-headed guy on the show, the main guy, the kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He drove the orange car, I think, right?
Yeah, what was the name of that? Was it,
a lot of listeners right now are like, God, these guys are
a lot of the older guys. Fuck these young guys.
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, so I got to sign right next. He was right next to me, and it was it said hello. One of his guys actually came over to me and said, you guys should talk a little bit here when you get a break. And he does a lot of movie projects and everything, and it'd be good for you to maybe. And I'm just thinking, like, I can't possibly get any busier right now.
Wait, was it John Schneider? Was that
John
his name?
Schneider? Yeah.
He's on fucking that Superman show I like. That's pretty cool.
Is he really? Yeah. No, super nice guy. He was. That was cool, kind of getting to see him. And then those Comic Cons, I haven't done a lot of those yet, but it was Freddie.
Did you do them in WWE? Did they have you go to those or no?
I did one San Diego Comic Con, which is that's a huge one.
That's the big one, I think. Yeah.
But I think that was like escorted in. We did I think it was me and somebody else. We did like maybe an hour and a half, and escorted right out and gone. Like
no signing, just like a panel, or
no? I think it was a signing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was like it was a shorter one. I remember it might have been 2 hours, but it didn't seem like it, and it very well may have been. But this one, like seeing like Freddie and Jason, the things like I grew up watching, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I'm in the back with Tito Santana.
Really?
And, yeah, we're. It's funny because like I feel like a lot, and me and Gene Okerlund was there, and I talked to him briefly, and I feel weird sometimes because I do a lot of these appearances and different things, and a lot of the times it is with guys that are at the the end of their career, their careers winded down, and they still get out there to meet their fans, and
okay.
And I'm in my prime, I feel like, and just I don't know. It feels weird. Like I feel like this isn't like my retirement tour or anything like that. But at the same time, it kind of feels like it's a retirement tour. But I'm sitting next to a guy who has a cool ass voice. He sits down next to us, and me and Tito, and there were a couple other people at the table, and very friendly guy. His name is Charles, and he's talking, and he's like asking what we do, and I'm like, man, this guy couldn't be any nicer. And it turns out he's the voice of Mario.
Really?
He's been with Nintendo from day one, and he's there because one of the guy that brought us in, he was at the table, and he had a couple of like the Super Mario 3 like stuffed figures for him to sign. He's like, Charles, can you sign these for my kids? And he signed them, and I put it together right then. And then he's talking to the guy, and he does a Mario. He did the voice.
It's a me, Mario. Woohoo!
And I giggled inside. It made me laugh.
Okie dokie.
Charles
But,
Martinet. Is that his name?
Has to be, yeah.
Wow. He does Luigi, Wario.
Yep.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah,
Should've got
he
me.
does all-
I would have liked to have an autographed Mario doll. That would have been kind of fucking cool.
I was just sitting there. I was like, man, this guy is pretty cool, man. And he was so. I like it when you meet people like that are really nice. And but we had a great turnout. Thank you to everybody that came out there to Niagara Falls last week. Niagara Falls, beautiful place, and the hotel was right across from the falls. I had a window view of it. So, but that was good. Got in and out for that. Went back to Buffalo. Came home.
I think the Comic-Cons, do you think they'd be good? Here's a thing. I love the Comic-Con stuff, the whole style of it. I was actually trying to pitch them. I was in loose talks with them for a while about potentially having wrestling events at the Comic-Cons because they have a built-in crowd there, and they have their own channel, their own network. And it was a very short-lived conversation. We were going to try it at the New York Comic-Con, which would have been fucking tremendous. But I think it's a really good fit for pro wrestling, and I think a lot of big signings happening there, and shit, we might just go on the road and go to Comic-Cons. And
I would love to do more Comic-Cons. So if anybody out there, I think that honestly they're a lot of fun, and you get fans that are wrestling fans that wouldn't normally know to go to wrestling signings and things like that.
Sure.
And they're like so you get a whole different group of people that are just they're fans of the horror genre and all that, and then and it just all that video games, and it all blends in together. So I think it's something that's definitely a possibility moving forward. But I think a wrestling show would be a great idea, and just have like run-ins from Freddie, Jason, just fucking
yeah.
like, dude, fucking Mario comes in and drop kicks somebody, just fucking. The wrestlers just get jobbed out to all the superheroes, and Jason comes in and axes somebody.
It's a perfect place. I wish it would have happened, but I struck out.
No,
So.
but if you guys want to book the big guy Ryback for any Comic Cons, book the big guy at yahoo.com, and Pat will discuss with you if it's a possibility. But
Speaking of bookings, I don't know if you're going to go down that path.
Let's go down it, but I was just going to say I was rushing around all day. Like, man, what a day. It seems like when you have your own business, we talked about this, little things go wrong, and it's like it falls on me, and it can be very stressful because like I'm working hard in a different way now, but I'm also still working physically. Like I'm rehabbing my shoulder. I've just started working out, so like we'll talk about the workout today. Like I'm in the gym for 3 hours, and like but there's all this other stuff now, which is super cool. But it would be super cool if it all went just like really well all the time.
Yep.
But it doesn't, and you discover things go wrong, and it's like you just got to just persevere. And I know I have the podcast tonight, and like this is work as far as prepping for this a little bit, and like
sure.
It's not like we just sit down and pour a drink and like, oh, let's just wing it. Work goes into this to put on a show, and we want to have bullet points essentially, and most of this is just winging it. But we have bullet points, and we have our format, and I do my quotes and my tips, and so like I know I got to get ready to do this in a little bit. My printers went out. I have 2 printers for my business in my office. One is my inkjet, and one's my label printer. Well,
Okay.
The label printer went out that label printer was maybe $250, $240 back. I got it last July. And it's been great, but it had a couple little complications early on. I figured out when it wasn't working what it needed to be. They're very delicate things. And eventually, that just quit working. Just totally stopped working. So I had to switch. Anybody who's ordered for feedmemore.com will notice usually there's I use the inkjet now where I have the big pieces of paper.
Okay.
That I use that to print out where I buy the labels for the paper sheets for the labels and print it out on that. Well, that printer went out on Monday.
All right.
Just totally went out. So like I'm like, no big deal. I'll get it back on. I'll get it today. Couldn't get it. So yesterday I'm like, well, I got to do something. Tuesday after I couldn't get it, I was like, I got to do something here because my label printer, which I just sent that back today. They're going to replace that for me because it's broke and it's still under warranty. But I had to order a brand new all-in-one printer to get here for today so that I could get all my orders out because I fly out tomorrow, Friday here, for this weekend show, an appearance, and I'm like, well, I don't want people that ordered Monday to wait another week before I ship out their thing. So I had all these orders to get done. The printer came in. I had to hook up the new printer and then go back and do all these orders. And I'm rushing. I go walk the dogs real quick because Sonny gets really antsy if I don't walk him before the podcast. They leave me alone. They know like I got the deal. They know when I'm talking over here. But he needs to go for a walk with Sophie. So like I walk them. I know you're getting ready. You're waiting. And I grab I'm going to throw a load in the laundry real quick upstairs. And I grab my hamper. And I go to throw it like in the laundry room, and when I throw it, I have these nice like you saw my kitchen, like these dark cabinets. Like those things aren't cheap, but I throw the hamper in, and the hamper must have hit I have those same cabinets upstairs in my laundry room. It hits the handle, the door just rips off. Like I just hear wood crack. I go, what the fuck was that? I flip on the light, and the cabinet's just dangling. It just, like, it was only a quarter load of laundry. It wasn't like a full heavy basket. And I was just like, what the fuck are these cabinets? Like, God damn it. Like, they look great, but I was like, could this have been any cheaper? And so now I'm gonna Gorilla Glue that thing until I can get another cabinet. I'm going to have to go down to the hardware store, and I think I'm just going to rip it off the thing and just take it into the hardware store and just like, can you match this for me? I'm sure that will be like $500 for a cabinet or something stupid. It's always something ridiculous like that. But I was just like, man, these little things, but everything. We're back on Amazon with Feed Me More Nutrition, and it's been a good week on other things. I just got approved for merchandise by Amazon, so I could sell my own T-shirts on Amazon.
Oh, cool.
Like what Pro Wrestling Tees does?
Yeah.
I do that now on my own through Amazon. They take a small percentage, but the shirts they're high quality, nice shirts. So, but I could always change out designs now. So rather than keeping inventory at the house or in storage or anything like that, I can literally do everything through Amazon now, and it just makes it so much easier. So that took about 4 months to get approved, which no surprise with Amazon, but like we're off and rolling, man. So this is what I've been waiting for.
All right, we need to get some. We have no merch for Conversation with the Big Guy. I think we've sold one T-shirt total.
We do on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Which is my wife.
Yeah. Oh, geez. No. I had a guy come out to the Comic-Con that had the Conversation with the Big Guy shirt.
Really?
I swear to God.
We got one Canuck, one crazy Canadian.
He also bowed to me after. Great fan, great guy.
Kissed your hand.
No, him and his girlfriend came after we had like I tried to, which we'll talk about more on another topic we have tonight. But we spent quite a bit of time talking because he had the book, and like he's a very loyal fan and follower, and like
that's cool.
It was really cool, and I like answering questions for people that have questions. But when we got done, he bowed down to me, which I don't know if that's ever happened to me or not.
Wait, like bowed like an Asian bow, or like took a knee, like genuflecting to
like
a king,
down, like that,
okay,
to a king. Which I didn't stop it. That was. I mean, would you? It felt good. I'm not going to lie.
I would have stood up and embraced. I would have stood on the chair.
The girlfriend though goes, Jesus Christ, come on! Like she was not thrilled that he was bowing down to the big guy. And I go, no, it's okay, thank you.
No, you bow down too.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? You too? Yeah,
I'm
no.
waiting.
So yeah, and. So no, that was cool though. But I'm gonna actually do the shirt on there. I'm gonna do a few different designs, and because Pro Wrestling Tees are cool and everything. But I told you, and I have no problem. Like they seem like good dudes and everything. But I don't know if Punk's invested in that or not. Colt, we know, is invested in it, or do we not talk about that?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. But do you want to say your weird little story that you had something interesting?
Well, I ordered a bunch of shirts from them for my shows, which I'm bringing to the shows this weekend. The Feed Me More shirts with the blue Ryback on them.
This was before the $20,000 of Buffet Club shirts came.
Yeah, which by the way, I still have all the shirt. Like not all like I have the big sizes because I sold out of like small, medium, large, and XL on most of my shirts. Because I got like they ended up doing way more designs than I wanted. But they sent me so many more shirts than I needed. But I got a lot of 3 and 4X shirts left on the Buffet Club, Feed Me More nutrition ones and Big Guy ones. So I'm trying to get rid of those. And like wrestling shows, you do mostly kid sizes and like medium, large, maybe XLs. 2, 3, 4XLs go much slower than the other ones.
Well,
but this company,
you don't know my shows then. We get it. 2X is the most popular shirt at WrestlePro.
I need to just. I should run a special on feedmemore.com for the big shirts, just to kind of. I want to get rid of those because I've been waiting. That's why I haven't replenished on the other stuff, because I've been waiting to go on Amazon, because it's just. I'm not in the clothing business. I'm in the supplement business. The clothing's just an accessory, essentially, just kind of a little side gig. And but I got my Feed Me More nutrition tank tops coming tomorrow, actually, finally, which those will go up on feedmemore.com, and those are cool. And I've been waiting for those. I got the Feed Me More nutrition water bottles coming. Those half-gallon water jugs. I don't know if you're fans of those or not.
No, I can do a half gallon. I could definitely do a half gallon.
It has the handle. Not the gallon, definitely not that. So with the blue Ryback Feed Me More Nutrition logo, those are, I think, like 20-something boxes coming in. I got to go pick up next week. They just got shipped in from China. So, but yeah, the clothing's going to be on Amazon. But so Pro Wrestling Tees, I get these shirts made, and they do a great job. They're a cool company, and they
have their shit together completely. Yeah, it's great.
But it's like, I think you signed with them for a year, and I only did it just kind of why not? It's not going to hurt anything. But it's not really. I don't really plug it. I don't promote it. I'm not really that. I'm more interested in doing everything myself, quite frankly. And what Amazon for me, and having my own Amazon account and getting approved on that with my own business and everything, it's more beneficial to me to do it myself through Amazon. So I won't be renewing with them on that for that reason, just because I'd rather do it myself. But a funny story is they actually they sent me the box of my shirts for the shows, and pulling them out and going through them, there's a random yellow CM Punk Best in the World shirt in there.
Jesus.
Which I don't know. I was like, that's why I was asking, because it's out of Chicago, and I know he's in and out of that place quite often. In which I then took the ketchup bottle and put ketchup all over it and sent a picture of it to you.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But it was I laughed at it, but I was just like, I just like, that's not very professional, is it? Like, but who cares? I laughed, so.
Huh. All right. What else we got going on this
You were going to talk about the booking thing. I don't know.
Do we want to talk about our blonde-haired friend first, or I don't know?
Go ahead and hit me with this booking thing first, because
Okay.
I'm involved a little bit in it towards the end. So
let's start this off. So for those listening for the first time and those that listen every week, I handle your bookings for you. They go through one email account, and I kind of, cipher through and fill the old schedule. And what normally happens is, people inquire, promoters inquire. Most of them I know, some I don't. And I can tell right off the bat, like, hey, this is going to be good. This will be bad. Some I won't answer if I think this is ridiculous. Some I'll always lend an ear. We had a request from Iraq last week. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, this is why when the moment I messaged you the day I walked out of WWE, that night, I messaged you and asked you, I believe, was it that night that I
don't know where it came from, to be honest with you. I don't.
It was fairly, I believe it was that night, because I remember I went to Hooters right after I left the building. I drove from St. Louis to wherever I was flying out of. St. Louis, I left the arena. I went right to Hooters and ate Hooters, and then got a 12-pack of beer and went back to the hotel room. And I remember I messaged you, I just left, I'm done. And but I was like, and I said, I go, would you want to be my manager? I'll give you 10% of all the thing, because I was like, because I knew you know your shit, and you know it. I knew what I wanted to do with these other things, and I could easily do all this, but I shouldn't say easily, but I would fucking be stressed the fuck out.
It would take you at least. I mean, for me, not that it takes as much every day, but I think from you not having the relationships with, or not aware of the different promotions, it would probably take you on average 3 to 4 hours a day of your time to put together all this shit.
Yeah.
And
I would,
you know,
and I would probably be lost more often than not, and sitting in the middle of Iraq,
yelling at people.
yeah, just screaming in the middle of Iraq. Where the fuck am I? So I figured, and I think anybody that in all seriousness, because that's what you learn to do when you get to a certain level. You delegate people to do work for you, and you pay them appropriately for it, because you can better use your time for the other things that you're doing. If I wasn't doing any of this other shit, maybe I would do it. If I was just, you know what, I'm just a wrestler. That's all I'm content with that. And, but I know I have all this other stuff going on, and this is a business to me, even though I love it and grew up with it. But it makes me, I could focus my time better on other things. So, and I know you know how to do this, and I like helping you out, because you can make a good little amount on this too.
Absolutely.
With it. So it
45%.
No. It'll make me feel good when you eventually renegotiate the WWE contract, sitting in there, and then you bomb completely because you're nervous being around Vince, and I'm just sitting there, God damn, I got to fire you in front of Vince.
I got you $750 a week. You're going back.
You're debuting on Superstars next week.
I also think that I've had talks about this with people too, because I used to, being a promoter, not like dealing with agents, but then I kind of understood. Now I kind of prefer it, actually, with certain things. How I shouldn't say that, but I actually think that it's very helpful to certain talents, because I know there's a lot of guys that are scared of life after WWE. But if you have someone doing it for you that knows what the fuck they're doing, because there are guys currently out there that are still, I think, floundering around, and I feel kind of there's guys I think that have left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table because of poor management. I won't say their names, but that's a fact.
There is a lot of money out there, just so everybody knows, and there's an entire world out there, and
exactly,
it is, and there's a lot of great wrestling promotions out there, and they're not WWE. There's only one WWE. Nobody's going to be another WWE on that level. This is taking how many years to get to the level that they're at, and all that. But there is a lot of successful, great promotions out there, and in the wrestling is wrestling. No matter where you go, a wrestling ring is a wrestling ring. Also, sometimes you got smaller buildings, sometimes you got bigger buildings. It's all the same, though, in the grand scheme of things. So,
and we're in an interesting era with social media and communication and technology being where it's at. It's easier for promotions and everyone to communicate so much quicker. That's why, like, this wrestling, I think, was kind of always there, but more so now. It's the right time. There's basically what I'm trying to say is what you just said. There's wrestling all over the world, and there's always going to be a demand for certain people, especially with the WWE exposure. But I also think it's beneficial, because sometimes I got to be the bad guy for, to deal with these people, and it's helpful having that intermediary no, it has to be this. It has, it's rather than, having someone do it themselves. I don't know. I like doing it. It's fun, but can be stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
However, this week was interesting. So anyway,
I only know about it when it's a headache. That's why because when it's good, it's just, oh, you're here, this is this, and that's smooth sailing. But when it's when things start breaking down or things, because that's your job, you make me aware of it. This is what's going on, because it's like, oh, you might have this gig here for this, and but then all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on, this is going on, and I have access to be able to see everything, which I try to never look at it unless I have to, like when you tell me, like if you or my flight information or something. But go ahead, I'll let you continue on this one.
Okay, so we get an old inquiry for an upcoming appearance in October. And the verbiage sounds like a guy that knows what he's talking about.
Okay.
And I cipher through it, and everything seems on the up and up. And I give the basic information, basic response back, and I kind of break it down. Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
Like I always fucking do. Can you explain to people too, while you're doing this, kind of the basic, how this all works essentially when communication, when the communication is going on between the two parties, between you and the promoters, kind of what the guidelines are of, all right, this is the deal when the money situation is worked out, and then the flight and the travel and the hotel, like that kind of stuff is worked out. But there's like a down payment and a PayPal deal. before they could advertise, right? Is that correct on that?
Exactly what it, basically everyone's
Just
different.
so people know, yeah.
Some people work in the realm of a flight is proof of deposit. I don't go down that route. I go down, look, a portion of the rates has to be sent in before you can advertise. That
lets us know they're serious, and that to book my time for that weekend, because we're not going to take any other bookings for that day. So everyone else gets told no, that lets us know that they're serious as a promotion to bring me in, and that at least they're willing to put that money down that for me to come in.
And that's the way I like to do business myself, being a promoter, is I prefer to, hey, you have this date, do you want a deposit? I'll send it to you right now, and I will do it instantly. And I have that with, and it's kind of nice as a promoter, because if you give the deposit early, it's almost like you kind of forget that you spent that money already. So you and it also proves that you can do fucking good business. I should say other things later on. However, it's a portion of the rate, and once you have that in, you're proving enough that you're serious. And okay, go ahead, advertise the show, knock yourself out. We'll get to the flight maybe 60 days before, maybe 30 days before. For certain promoters, a week before. But everyone's different. So they agree to the rate, they agree to a deposit. I go, cool. And I don't, I'll let it sit there until someone else inquires, or I'll check back in if it doesn't go through. And then I'm on Facebook, and I get a few days later.
I'm down like 20 grand, by the way. I take all the deposits and go and gamble them all instantly down at the strip with a bunch of hookers. And I'm down about 20. I'm kidding, everybody. I don't touch the money at all, actually, but thought that was funny.
Ryback keeps his rate what it is to gamble and spend on hookers. Yeah. That would be an awesome headline.
yeah. Jesus, nothing surprises me anymore. We got all that to talk about later on here.
So I get the inquiry, and we talk it out. Hey, I will send the deposit. Okay, cool. The deposit doesn't come in. I notice online I get a Facebook invitation to a promotion. I go, let me click on this, and I click on it. And on it is a bunch of wrestlers that I know from a certain area that I used to work in quite frequently, and I know a lot of the wrestlers on the card. But there's shadows on it, and meaning that they haven't announced 3 talents. But it's clear as fucking day that the shadow is you. And
You've sent me the thing, because I've seen that shadow used as me before, I believe, for even WWE at something. I've seen that thing before. I know, you could just, we'll post it up this week with the show, and we'll do a poll. Is this Ryback, yes or no? just because it's so blatantly obvious. I know my ears better than anyone. Those are my fucking ears and my traps in my body.
I actually knew the picture. I was like, oh, I know that picture. That's the picture. Yeah. I think you're in trunks for that picture. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is kind of bad. And next to you, clear as day, it's Tommy Dreamer.
You sent me the poster, and I go, no, that's me and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. So now it's on, this poster is out there, but it says to be announced. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is really misleading, because one, the deposit's not in. Yes, he's technically not promoting, but this is kind of, what if this doesn't work out? This is not good.
It's not. You shouldn't do that. It's not the actual picture of me, but it's the silhouette. It's the shadow picture, and clearly it's Tommy who's on the show and myself who is supposed to be on the show. Mm-hmm. But so you do your job and inquire about it, correct? And I saw the message you sent a completely professional message just asking about it, that the deposit's required to advertise, right?
If they sent the deposit, hey, do your mystery man thing all you want, but you didn't. So I see this and I go, hey, because this has happened before, and it actually is kind of happening right now in a different place where people have, especially international, they will go back and forth, and it'll be like, that date's available. We still got to work out details or deposit, and people jump the gun and put up your advertisement. Then I've asked them before, and they go, we're sorry about that, and they send the deposit, and everything's good. This didn't work out that way. So I inquire about, hey, the deposit needs to be sent. You can't put up, I forget my exact verbiage, but you can't put out an image of him, even though it's a shadow, clearly is indicating that it's him before, the deposit is sent. That's not what we agreed upon. And the reply, which this was fucking golden, mind-blowing, was we did not announce him. That's not him. That's a wrestler by the name of Drew Donovan. Now,
Who messaged me shortly thereafter, by the way, which it just gets better, yeah.
Yeah, so let's get to his response after this. So I think about it for a while because Drew is a muscular man. He's a good friend of mine from back in the New England days.
Very nice guy. I used to get supplements from him. He used to give me he worked for a supplement company, and he would give me some of their products when they had like free samples. And when I was going through my ankle injury, he would actually drop off bags of remember Jack 3D, like USP Labs?
Yes, yeah.
He would bring me bags of their stuff. Very like such a cool dude, man. He got hired in WWE and NXT, I believe, for a little bit down there. And
Big body guy.
Yeah, he looks great, and he's on the Independence, and I think we were supposed to wrestle, me and him, but I'll let you go ahead and continue.
Yeah, that's what happens. So a lot of times we like to know the opponent, and they said Drew Donovan. I go, perfect, that's fine. They're friends. We all know him, and he actually did one of my WWE enhancement matches. It was me and him versus Crime Time
in Orlando, Florida. I'll never forget it.
I'll never forget it too.
Crime Time.
We
yo.
We agreed to do the booking. Everything seems fine, but now we get fast forward to the old misleading image. So I kind of questioned. I was like, okay, but in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. That's because I'm questioning myself. I'm going, well, is that really you? Are they trying to just mislead the fans? And maybe it is Drew Donovan. For a second, I go, maybe it is that. And then I look at the poster again, and Drew Donovan's on the fucking poster.
Yes, I could already tell you when it's not. Even if we have two completely different body types. I know my ears, my head, and my traps.
Okay.
That picture, there's only one. You could put another bodybuilder right next. I could just tell by the dimensions it's me. So
with Drew, now this guy is going, no, we haven't advertised him. That's Drew Donovan. Drew Donovan's on the fucking poster already.
He's already on the poster, yeah.
I went, okay, look, man, it's bad enough this happens, but you're clearly like insulting our intelligence. Or I said something kind of smart ass. I go, is Drew Donovan playing two characters? Is he playing Drew Donovan? And later in the night, he's going to come out as Silhouette Man? Because I'm like, that's clearly...
Yeah, it was silly. I believe that was the response.
Because I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Because I go, if that's Drew Donovan, then what the fuck are you going to announce? Like, hey, in this mystery spot, it's Drew Donovan again. I'm like, this guy's fucking unbelievable.
Rather than just being honest about the situation, like, look, you're right. We can either take him off of it and wait to give you the deposit, or we'll give you the deposit and we'll leave it on. It's very simple. This isn't rocket science.
Exactly. On top of that, actually before that comment, he actually wrote, well, here's the thing. And again, I've said this on past episodes. Wrestling promotions that exist for charities or nonprofits need to be questioned severely. And it doesn't. Not to say
they do
sense.
exist. I would say they do exist, right? Yeah.
But I think they.
Go ahead. No,
sorry.
I know what you're getting at with this. It's very easy to say that, and then how do you really know where things go? This one very well may. I don't know, but I'm sure there've been promotions out there that have said this is for so and so, and it probably isn't.
Well, I'll tell you where my guard goes up, just from my own personal experience. Like there are for example, I'll put over Zach Gowen and Greg Iron have like their own not-for-profit wrestling thing, and I know that they do great stuff. I've given portions of profit, whether it be 10%, whether it be 5%, but I can't, the types of shows that put on these things, especially if you have outside names, they have they have Dr. Tom, they have Tommy Dreamer, all these big things, and a lot more was on this card. It almost doesn't make sense to me to grab money from a nonprofit organization to put on an event in hopes of making an extravagant event with someone who's a wrestling promoter. You question, why are they doing this? Why are they going through all this work to receive? Like, there's something just doesn't feel right from my experience.
So let me see if the way that you're explaining this possibly. So say that with all the names and all the talent on the show, say it costs them $12,000 to book the show.
Okay.
And say with profits and everything, they say they make $8,000 and they lose $4,000. How is that going to charity?
Exactly.
That's what I was getting from what you're saying. So I'm trying to, for the listeners,
pretty much. And it's
not to
like,
say that happens. I'm sure they do make money at some, depending, and it's not 12, it's maybe $6,000 or $5,000, and they make $8,000. I don't know.
It would be a noble thing if a show, like you just said, cost $12,000 and, they take all that in consideration and they make $20,000 and it goes all to the not-for-profit. Fantastic. However, running the risk of something, to me, it seems like a gamble for someone to do that for a not-for-profit event. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense for me on a charitable level.
Sorry. I'm sorry, ASPCA. We lost $3,000 on this. Can you help us out?
Yeah, my bad. House is light. Those kittens got to be fucking thrown out.
I love the ASPCA. I actually donate to that every month, so I'm a big dog guy. If you couldn't tell.
So and this is all about whatever. So basically the response I get was, well, he's third in line for a deposit. I have to pay Dreamer. I have to pay Dr. Tom, and then I'll get to him. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. It's not my business to know who you are or who you're not. You just are doing this thing that's not good. So, the words are said, and the reply I get is, Pat, what the fuck is your problem? You're fucking ruining a charity event. Like, just all these curses, and I don't respond.
I saw it escalated with him just attacking you.
Yeah.
And then it turned into him attacking me, I believe.
Yeah, because after I got that, I said, this booking's not happening. There's nothing I can do that will be proven to have my time go well. Let it go. And then it was another follow-up email insulting you, saying basically you don't have any bookings or...
Which is it's just ridiculous, and him just talking out of his ass. And when you showed me that, I go, can you give me his number? I'll give him a phone call and see what's going on. And you gave me his number. He didn't answer the first time. I called him back the second time, and he answered. And I go, this is Ryback. And there was maybe 5 to 8 seconds of silence. And I think he was in his car. And then, have I been emailing you? No, that was Pat. And then asking him why he is attacking me. And just to inform him that I am booked every weekend, just so he is aware of that. And that I have probably made more than a lot of people out there. And I'm very thankful for that, because of having my name and my brand and from my past. And that if he wasn't aware of, outside of the book and the podcast, but I have my own supplement company, and I make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in a brand new business. And I just wanted him to know that, and to ask, how does that make me irrelevant or unsuccessful? Or I really didn't understand where he was coming from with that attack, as I wasn't involved in any of this. But it was just that I really get upset when people, and this goes into the whole thing with, like, we'll talk about with the Sportster and all these online articles that talk about 15 independent wrestlers who were successful and who have failed. I dare you to truly look at everything and call me a failure. They go by. It's weird because I don't go wrestle for New Japan or Ring of Honor. But look at our bank accounts and look at me. I get my meet and greets and having fun and in meeting people every week and being booked and living life and being happy. Like what's wrong with you people? And just this guy, it rubbed me the wrong way. I try not. There's some things you just got to whenever you reach a certain level, you're going to get hate no matter what. But to be dealing with a promotion that wants to bring you in, and then for them to all they have to do is either pay the deposit or just take down the advertisement. There's no big deal about it. But then to personally attack me, I just feel like I just think it's like, what are you doing? Because you're going to eventually meet me, buddy. It's a small world, and,
sure.
and you're not going to have that attitude. You're not. It's just the bottom line. So why are you doing it on here? And when I've done nothing to disrespect you or do anything, and you did nothing to disrespect him, but inquire about the situation. And I told you before this, there's so many great promotions out there, and I never want to make. We like to share this stuff with you guys because it makes for entertaining podcast and to talk about it and to whatnot. And I like to talk about my life, and you'd like to talk about your life and everything going on. But occasionally we'll talk about if something goes this, it's entertaining. But we'll do it in a professional way where it's like, oh, we're not going to fuck you, motherfucker. But it's unfortunate things have to be like that. And but you're going to get, that's the independence. essentially. There's a lot of great, there's a lot of good, and there's some bad. And it's like, this was one of the bad ones, apparently, just based off how he chose to react.
Yeah, basically saying, and then after that, after you have the phone with him, one more email.
I did. I let him know how I felt about everything. I will say that. That he hung up.
This happens a lot too with, I've seen with a lot of the promoters that no matter what you say or do, I'm always the bad guy. So then it comes back and it's like, fuck you, Pat. I just had a warm conversation with Ryback, blah, blah, blah. It was just, all right. I threw my hands up.
And he said, fuck you, prick, I believe, or something.
Yeah, you prick. You fucking prick.
You fucking prick. You told the big guy, you fucking prick.
You're ruining my New England show, you fucking asshole.
That thoroughly, when you sent me that email, I fucking lost it. That you're like, how do I get the shit for you calling it?
You call him up, you goddamn motherfucker.
Just got a call from the big guy. Fuck you, man. Oh,
so
it's a simple deal. I would love to do this show, especially if it's going to charity. But it's, again, if you're going to advertise, we have our guidelines and our rules, and they're in place, and you got to have something to adhere to. And if one promotion gets away with it, then who's to say another? Like, it just doesn't work that way. We'll pull off if you're not going to do it. Like, it's so simple. Just take it down and then wait till you pay the deposit, and you can put it back up. It's very simple. It's not rocket science, but
that's not the only promotion we heard from this weekend.
No, not at all. And I love when I wake up in the morning and I have text messages and all these things, because it's like when I told you with the job, and like it's instantly the moment I wake up, work starts. Outside of making breakfast is always the number one priority, but like I'm doing emails and looking at stocks, and like I always do my stocks in the morning, which today, by the way, great day for the big guy. I think 3K today. I like to, nothing like, not tremendous, but it's nice to just pocket 3K for doing nothing. And I like to do all my stocks in the morning. But this particular morning, was it Monday you sent me this?
Yeah. Well, I woke up to the same thing. I don't know if I should read mine first or
go. Wait, do you have a different message than me? You have to, right? Because he personalized.
I have a different, a much different.
All right, I'll let you go ahead and start off, but let me just clarify this. And this deals with the real nature boy Paulie. That whole incident in Georgia with the screwed up travel, and essentially he gave us the wrong information for a flight out of there to do a connecting show. I missed the show because of it. It was Memorial Day weekend. It cost me thousands of dollars. People were upset that I missed the show. There were some fans that were not happy with me saying I'm sorry that I, unfortunately, due to travel and things like that. So it's just a bad situation all the way around. And we didn't say anything. He was upset for me personally calling him fake Nate. But anybody, look up the real nature boy, Paul Lee. Paul, we're getting a lot of more eyes on you. This podcast does very good numbers. We actually just set a record high last week. And calling you fake Nate is not an insult to you. That is what your character is. Mm-hmm. Whether you want to believe that or not, you are a heel persona in the ring, fake Nate. There's nothing wrong. There was nothing insulting meant for that. I didn't say one thing insulting about him. I put the show over. I had a lot of fun there. He seems like a very nice guy. Outside of the comedy skit that I saw on YouTube that you sent me, or JD sent me, that was a little much. But we've all had our moments when intoxicated.
I don't know. I've never kicked a comedian in the balls, but hey, that's
again. But it is pretty hilarious.
He is the real nature boy. He goes for that.
But okay, I'm just look up. Please, if you check out on YouTube, the real nature boy, Paul Lee, comedian, something on stage. It's something along the lines of that. There was an incident, which is pretty funny. You'll get a laugh out of that. But we didn't say anything about him bad, and he threw a little money to take care of the travel. But in the grand scheme of things, I lost thousands of dollars still.
Yeah,
and there's, you can say sorry all you want, but you messed up on the travel. It's frustrating, but. We didn't, I didn't say fuck you. It was nothing like that. So just to kind of set the stage for everyone, that's what happened. And we talked about it that day. We did the podcast a couple weeks ago with me having to drive 10 hours to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for the next show for the following day. And it was, he wasn't too happy that I referred to him as Fake Nate, I believe.
That's something. I don't know if you want to go further with that one.
As far as what, the Fake Nate?
Well, the old messages he got were pretty. The
oh,
text
no. And the only reason we're going to read these on the air is because they're entertaining as fuck. And they made me laugh really hard. So, Paul, thank you for Paul. I legitimately laughed, but I was also a little hot at a couple of the lines. But and then I'm going to share my response. But go ahead, you go ahead first, and if you want to set up what happened on your end, the message.
Yeah. So I wake up nice, and mind you, I've dealt with the real. I like to call him the real Nature Boy. I don't.
I like the show. I like the show. The show he runs a good show, and seems like a good promotion. We didn't say anything bad about that. I called him Fake Nate though because that is the character. But
I mean, yeah, that comes from. There were people, Buddy Landell. God, there was another Nature Boy too. I mean, Flair initially took the persona from Buddy Rogers, but Flair is the one that gets all the credit for it. But
wait a second. There's other Nature Boys out there?
There are other Nature Boys, believe it or not, but there's only one real Nature Boy on
God
Twitter.
damn it. Fuck you, Ric Flair, 16-time world champion. That motherfucker using the Nature Boy name? How dare he? Oh, some
all
people.
Those robes. Anyway.
The nerve.
So I woke up, and I got a new phone this weekend. My phone crapped out, so I didn't have the number saved. I'm like, what is this? Very disappointed that you guys bashed me on your podcast. I did, and as I said, I sent him more money, and as stated, it wasn't nothing intentional with the flights. I never knew the email came in, where it changed, but instead of saying I did pay him, I did try to buy him another flight. I did offer to drive him to Atlanta myself, and I get bashed and made a joke out of.
How's that making it better?
I don't know.
I'm kidding, Paul.
There's not a lot of punctuation going on here. I've been in this biz for 35 years, and lots of that time I worked in the offices getting guys over on TV or traveling damn to fucking across seas or wherever, and to be disrespected by a brother in the business. It's just very unprofessional on your guys' part. But if you can live with it, then so be it. At least I don't go say shit on a gig where the person can't say their opinion back. I go to that person. By the way, woo to that. So,
all right.
He gave me a piece of his mind. 35 years in the business. How old is the real Nature Boy?
He looks good still, so I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm 35 years old, so he's definitely, I believe.
He's been doing it since you've been in diapers, pal.
Yeah.
He's, all that oil makes him fucking youthful.
I'm not going to touch on that, but I will say, again, I chose to call him Fake Nate because, and again, I referenced him in our promo in the ring as being.
Well, let's break this. Why would you call him Fake? What about him resembles? It may be just a name. Is there anything else that resembles?
I would like our listeners to go ahead and do that. Just to go ahead and type in the real Nature Boy Paul Lee in the Google machines, as Conrad Thompson would say. And check that out. Pause this podcast and go ahead and check that out. And you tell me why I call him Fake Nate. Because that is what the character is. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's not meant to be disrespectful. That is his character. Mm-hmm. He is not fucking Ric Flair.
I don't know about
there
that.
There is only one Ric Flair.
There's only one Paul Lee.
God. So,
if you want to see Paul Lee at WrestlePro, you guys let me know.
If you want to, let's go ahead. If you want to see the real Nature Boy Paul Lee versus the big guy Ryback in promotions near you, go ahead and reach out. We'll book it. We'll book a world tour, Paul. We'll make you some money for it. I no hard feelings. I'll make you money, pal. But I did get this message, which again, this is very entertaining. There's one particular part though that I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Before you go on, I have to say, I do have to tip my hat because, like I just said, normally I'm the bad guy, but you got a much more fiercer message than I did.
I'm more upset that I gave him my number at the show while in his van getting my payday, and which
in his van handcuffed.
Yeah, handcuffed. Jesus. The
Horseman music playing.
Yeah. While in his van blowing him because he's been in the biz for 35 years. He got my phone number. I gave him my phone number because he seems like a really nice guy. He's very entertaining. You know, Luke Gallows had him at his wedding. The guy's an entertaining guy. But he wanted to, I'm in Vegas all the time. We can go grab a drink. No harm, no foul. Sure, here's my number. I have no problem with that. But then I get this message in which was never intended to attack him. But fake Nate apparently to him is like the worst thing that you could call him. But I can't call him anything else because that's what it is.
Yeah.
So my message started off the same, but it escalated a little bit further. Hey, bro, very disappointed that you bashed me on your podcast. Fake Nate. And made it sound like I was just the shits. Never did you say that I did pay you, and I try to find you another flight, which I was paying for. I mean, shit, this isn't the first, neither the last, a flight gets screwed up. But again, I didn't know I got an email where the time was changed. I tried the best to take care of my talent and put on a very professional gigs, as I would like to be treated the same way. But as respect to someone that been in this biz for fucking 35 years, instead of respect, I get bashed by a brother of the biz. I mean, I was asked, ASK, by several FAN, why didn't Ryback take his jacket off? Was it because he was small by being off steroids? Hold on, let me find where this picked up. But my answer was he probably didn't want all the fans to feel too small when beside him. That's called respect. I could have bashed you and said shit to tear you down, and by being a heel, it would have been expected. But that's the difference between professional and bullshit. I think you need to fix this on your end. Oh, I am. You know how social media change shit, and now my haters are eating it up by changing this whole situation and making it sound a different way. Very disappointed, bro, and as a man of my word, I even sent you more money as a business effort to help. But that's the nature of the business. The message actually cuts off from the printer on this. He essentially just asked at the end to make the situation right, in which he then ends the message with, woo! Woo! Whew. So that's what I wake up to. I don't even bother to take off the sleep apnea mask and get out of bed. I lay there. I message you first to realize that you messaged me saying you got a message. And then I sent this reply just so our listeners can hear the whole thing. Nobody bashed you. You aren't Ric Flair. You were called Fake Nate on a podcast in which not one thing said about you was bad. Show was done day of the incident. And as I always do, I put your show over. Your fuck up cost me a lot of time and money. How you fail to understand that is unreal. As far as the jacket goes, I had 3 shoulder procedures done in under 5 weeks and hadn't touched a weight in 2 months. I blatantly make fun of myself on my podcast for losing a bit of weight because I haven't been able to train as hard the past 14 months, let alone not at all the last 2 months. Before your show, I'm still 275 pounds and lean because I take care of myself and don't use steroids. I'm sorry to break the bad news to you that some of us understand diet and nutrition and don't need that sort of thing. Yes, flights are canceled every day. You gave me the wrong information. I lost thousands of dollars and put your show over and called you Fake Nate because your character is exactly that. I find it hard to believe any fan made the jacket comments, considering I took the jacket off at the very end of the show. And even if they did, holy shit, send me their names and numbers. I can't believe wrestling fans would say something so outrageous. This is my only response to you. Take care. Who's next?
Who's next?
And that was that. All
right.
Fake Nate, I love you. I'm not mad at you. You cost me a lot of money. We talked about it on that podcast. We do that. It's a podcast. We talk about things. I never said you're a piece of shit or a garbage human being or anything of that nature. I like you. You seem like a nice guy, but you fucked up. And fuck ups happen, yes, but you cost me a lot of money. So you took care of the travel for the day. But, I still lost thousands of dollars. And those fans, in Newburgh, New York are never going to meet me now again. So, you got to deal with that, not me. But that's the situation. It's pretty funny. And but this is the shit we deal with on the Independents. It's laughable.
Paul Lee,
But-
I challenge you. As long as I can beat fake Ricky Steamboat, and we can put on a match, I'll make that challenge here on the podcast.
Oh wow, you want a piece of the fake Nate too, huh?
Why not? He's been doing it for 35 years. I have a thing to learn from the real Nature Boy.
You guys don't got to call shit in the back. You can go out there and just do it.
1 hour Broadways.
No, he's entertaining, but he's fake Nate. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't know what else to say. Other than I think this is the perfect time for our first break, and we'll be right back after this.
Special announcement. Finally, Feed Me More Nutrition is back on Amazon. And coming soon, the Feed Me More Nutrition workout towels. That's Feed Me More Nutrition. Available now on Amazon. And coming soon, Feed Me More Nutrition workout towels. Yeah.
If you're anything like us, you like to enjoy a nice ice cold soda every now and then, but you hate the empty calories, the artificial sweeteners that come with it. With Zevia, you don't have to pick your poison. You won't feel awful worrying about the potentially stupid or harmful side effects, because with Zevia, there are none. Zevia uses the all-natural sweetener stevia. It doesn't have any caramel coloring either. Ew. The result is a delicious and safe soda with none of the nasty stuff. Zevia has 14 flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling water, and 4 flavors of awesome energy drinks. This is the naturally sweetened pop you and your family will crave. And Zevia is giving you the opportunity to try their products for yourself for free. That's right, for free. If you live in the U.S. or Canada, just go to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. And they'll mail you a coupon for a free 6-pack. What are you waiting for? Head to Zevia.com/podcast and get your hands on some ASAP. Don't forget to tell them Mark for Life sent ya. And we're back. And man, what?
Sorry, I think during that break I sent you a picture of our friend Fake Nate and Real Nature Boy, excuse me, and my computer froze up, and I think
He's now your home screen picture.
it really is right now. It's a giant picture staring me in the face, and my computer's now frozen. But we'll continue on the old podcast. So
I've noticed my voice. I've never been able to do high pitched voices like my entire adult life, and just something happened the last couple of weeks. But I can do high pitched voices right now. This is a fucking thrilling moment. I noticed it earlier on my woo. I was man. I kid you not. It's been years since I've been able to get that tone out of my voice.
maybe you have a career in cartoons. I would love to be a voiceover actor. God damn, that would be fucking.
I would love to do voiceovers too. Just big dumb animal. be a big dumb animal in a movie. What do you mean, boss?
Should we move on to reviews of the week?
Yeah, I was going to say, touch on everything, kind of fill everybody in on what's going on with my shoulder. And I went to the doctor this week. I had to. So, as you know, my appointment the week before, I waited an hour, as we said, and then I went up, like, is there a problem, anything? No one's been called to the back. There are like 5-6 people in the office. They said, yeah, he's seeing all new patients today. There's 3 new patients ahead of you still, and there's one in there right now, which I would have been in there probably another 4 hours, they said.
Sure.
And I'd already been in there an hour. So, and she goes, you can't wait, I know. And I go, no, I'm not going to wait 5 hours in here. You guys, and I said, why didn't you call me? And she goes, I'll have him email you all the answers to your questions, because he was supposed to email me before, he didn't. And so I had to make an appointment to go in, and then that happened. So I'm like, I need these questions on, like, because it was, when can I start working out? What do I have to be careful of? I've never had stem cells put into me. This is so new. I need to know the time frame. So anyways, I call in on Monday because I hadn't heard back. And I finally get the assistant on the phone, and she goes, well, he wasn't comfortable answering the email. I go, totally cool. I understand you guys want an appointment. I go, couldn't you have called or emailed me last week to let me know that rather than me waiting another week? And then I went off and I told her what I thought of their entire way they've treated me. If anyone that's dealt with doctors, I don't put up with bullshit, and I hate it when people string me along and all that other stuff. So anyways, I got an appointment that day. I went in, they apologized. They were cool about the entire thing, but it's just with doctors, it's sometimes they overbook all the time, and it's been a little bit of a stressful thing because I just want to get my shoulder better. That's all. That's what I'm taking this time. I'm regrouping. I'm recharging. I'm getting myself a new body at 35 years old, essentially, a new brand new shoulder. So they get me in there, and the doctor, we had a long conversation. Essentially, it takes about 8 weeks from the last stem cell procedure for everything to really, really heal, like as far as all the muscle tears. The cartilage inside the joint, there's a lot of cartilage missing. So there's a lot of cartilage that needs to be regrown, and it's already improved significantly. Like I used to tell you, when I shaved the back of my head, my shoulder would crack before. That's gone away because cartilage is regrowing in my shoulder because the stem cells, the bone marrow stem cells, are regrowing the cartilage. But he suggested, because I told him, I go, is it cool if I start wrestling mid-July? That's kind of what I was looking at. He goes, I would give it at least till August. And he suggested doing one more round of stem cells because I could afford it, because my insurance, I've already paid my deductible, so the insurance covers everything.
Nice.
It's essentially doing a second round of the bone marrow, doubling up on them. This time, the muscle tears are all healing. My shoulder feels great. But he goes, this will all go inside the joint to really speed up the cartilage process so that my shoulder isn't cracking anymore. And I go, cool. So we're doing the next procedure again Tuesday. So it will be 4 procedures here in like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it's been. They put you under for it, but it's so easy. You wake up, you're totally fine. You get
better
up.
than a shoulder replacement. I mean,
yeah. No, that's the thing. I can't get a shoulder replacement. I've dealt with this for years. This shoulder's been like this for years. Yeah. I'm just choosing to, while I'm away from being on TV and in the spotlight or anything like that, I got my business going. The Independ, I got my bookings, I got my appearances. Get it fixed. I'm essentially going to be 35 years old and in the best shape of my life after this. So it's like that's why it's hard. Like it sucks because I got to train. I'm training with so light right now. That's why it's such a mental. We all have our own challenges, and everybody out there, we're all going to go through our own things. It doesn't matter how rich or how famous you are. It doesn't matter how poor you are. We all deal with bullshit. We all have struggles. This is really hard mentally for me. I've told you this. I've talked to you, like, I have all this time and I'm home and I'm working, but I thrive on physicality. I've made my living on physicality, and I've had to kind of just take a backseat to that right now. And it's like,
I mean, you're a big mark for training, to be honest with you, like gym or Muay Thai or boxing.
All of it. I like to just physically spend myself. So it's hard to kind of not do that because I'm not getting that release. And even though I'm allowed to go in the gym and train, I told you today, I went and did 37 sets on legs today. And I squatted with this. I had to order, if you guys, for anybody with shoulder problems out there, it's called a safety squat bar. And I got my own gym here at home. I ordered one last week. It was 300 and something bucks for an Olympic one. Well worth it though. Anybody, if you've ever seen a squat bar and it has the padding on it and it has 2 handles that you could hold in front of you so that your shoulders aren't put in that vulnerable position on a squat. Yeah. And I wanted to start squatting so bad right now because I started lifting, a week and a half ago, really light. And
do you recommend did you always use a pad? Because like I see guys, I always use a pad. Do you?
I never used to. I got a squat pad years ago because I had the nerve damage done when I got dropped on my head in the ring, and I had the muscle weakness in my left arm. So I was doing the traction, and this thing is called it's a sponge, a squat sponge that essentially takes all the load off your traps in this sponge, so you're not pushing on the nerves of your neck with a squat bar. Because anytime I would squat, my nerve would be agitated in my arm and my hand. So I had to let that clear up. I don't use it anymore. I didn't until I got this. This bar has a pad on it because you have it held. It's on your back like a regular squat bar, but you hold the handles in the front so that your shoulders aren't stressed. Anyways, I went up to 235 today. It was my first time squatting in months. And I told you my back is killing me today because I've been working on my squat form. I'm actually squatting with correct form. But I did 37 sets of legs today. And I told you, I feel like shit. I feel like I didn't do anything still all day. And that's working, doing orders all day and everything. I'm just mentally like, when I go, man. And like, I think because I'm not able to train at the intensity level that I was, I feel like I'm not doing anything, even though I did 37 sets. Like that's beyond enough.
Big guy body and gym dysmorphia. So I think it's a real thing.
I will easily point blank. I'm the worst probably of anyone in the world on that. Like Feed Me More is my real life gimmick. I am not like, I'm never satisfied. And no matter, like I'm fucking, and it's a curse and it's a gift at the same time because it's allowed me a lot of success, but at the same time it makes me feel unsatisfied. But I'm dealing with it. I work on it, but it's just, we all deal with our issues out there. So essentially what I'm saying is we all deal with bullshit, and sometimes we just got to you got patience. We got to be patient in life. Things don't come overnight, and I'm being patient right now. Even though I'm not happy about it, I have no choice, and patience is a great thing to learn because it will allow success in the long run.
Well, we have a lot of support in the meantime. So do you want to get to these old review skis?
I do. Before we get to the reviews, you know what I wanted to say? I went out to California this week to meet with my manufacturer. I drove yesterday. Yesterday, drove 10 and a half hours here to Oceanside, California and back. I drove all the way out there, 5 hours and change. Hour and a half meeting with my manufacturer for the Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner. And the ball is rolling on that here. It was delayed a little bit, guys. I apologize. We're working out some kinks with everything, and I'm moving to a different manufacturer logistically that's in California. That cuts down on my shipping costs tremendously, and just had to go over everything and make sure we're on the same page. And they do a lot of other big companies out there, great guys, and just shot the shit for a little bit, talked a little business, and got back in my car and drove home. But
when's it coming out?
No, I'm not going to give an exact date until I know.
Okay.
I'm waiting on their message. They're giving me. I got the figures. The numbers are all worked out, and it's a matter of starting it. It's probably going to be started, I would say, by next week. Production, in which it's going to be. It's going to be short. It's not long at all. So I'm hoping here midsummer. It's really best case scenario. So. But in the car, and I told you I listened to it last week, the Tony Schiavone What Happened to Win podcast. Holy shit, man. I shout out to Tony and Conrad for that deal. That I like that show a lot. To me, that goes hand in hand. It feels like listening to the Monday Night Wars, or it's like reliving that whole period as far as with Bruce and his show and Tony and his show, and having Conrad on both. It's just cool, man. I highly suggest everyone check that show out if you were a fan of WCW and I grew up watching Tony and listening to him, and very entertaining podcast, very informative. It's an entirely different podcast than our situation, but I loved it, and so I highly recommend anybody out there to check that out.
I was a WCW guy. I loved it. I mean, hearing his voice. And I personally
his voice, he is the voice of WCW.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a big. He kind of faded away for a while in terms of. I don't know who. Conrad's a goddamn genius for coming up with. I want to see if he ever comes up with an ECW one. I'd be more than happy to listen to too. But
who does that? Heyman?
I don't know. You know, he could do it with Tommy. You could do it with a couple of guys.
Can. Tommy was there for that whole. Yeah, you know, I could see Tommy or Paul. Paul, I don't know if Paul does a podcast or anything. That's cool. I didn't even think of that. That's a third fucking wheel right there, man. That's the trifecta for them. Conrad's gonna fucking shoot himself. You imagine just you doing a podcast with me on Mondays, for Mondays, and then doing Wade on Friday. With everything you got going on
Sunday,
yeah, short stories with Swags on Wednesday. I would just call you for our thing on Monday. You'd be dead one day.
Just he burns out with a long red gray beard.
His show is only 23 minutes every week. The whole theme is short.
That could be a thing coming up real soon. I swear to God.
Oh,
I've
really?
Been talking with him about it. Like he's a big supporter of us, and I said, why don't you start one? Why don't you do one? And I can't fucking do that.
Hornswoggle's a big supporter of us?
He is. He actually.
Nobody ever lets me know anything. Because they probably know I'll toot my horn on the deal if they tell me.
That is
100% is why it's.
He loved the music part. He was over the moon with the old music reviews last week.
I don't even get a message from it. But you know what? In all fairness, I don't message him either. So
we like to gossip. We like to.
That's the thing. I'm not a gossiper, so that's why I probably don't. I don't get the gossip message from the guys. But I like to stay in contact with the guys. That's what I was thinking about today. Is everyone on the road? I'm like, I miss a lot of the guys. That's the hardest part about being away from WWE is all the guys. Even though, like, and we're going to talk about this on the things we're talking about with the Sportster coming up here with some of these negative articles on me out there. I always chose to ride alone, though. Because not because I hate everybody. I love everybody. I thoroughly enjoyed my conversations with pretty much everybody up in WWE, hanging out on TV days, because it can be miserable at times. And that's the one thing I really miss, the talent more than anything. But it's
also really weird how, like, developmental or even any locker room. Rip said this once down there. Another put Rip over again. And he said you only get 3 or 4 friends in wrestling. And I didn't understand that. But I realized that, like, whatever locker room I was in or working for a place for a long time, you hang out with people, you might see them every single day, and then you're like, oh, this is my good friend. And 3 months go by, you hang out with them every day, and then something happens, that person moves or gets fired or quits or stops wrestling or disappears or whatever, and then 10 years later you look back, you're like, oh, shit, that's kind of true. Like, you just go from group of people to group of people, and wrestling is really fucking weird like that, I feel like.
No, it is. But my thing is, and I have everyone's numbers, and it's really, and I stay really busy, and I don't want to ever send out a group message because I hate group messages, and because that one person responds and everybody gets the notification, and I would like to send everybody a message and see how they're doing and what's going on. Like, I'll just do it here. I hope everyone in WWE that I wrestled with up there is doing great. And
do it right now. Start sending messages.
Live on the air. The big guy loves you guys, and I'm very happy for all of you, and I hope you're all doing well. And you guys are the one thing that I miss the most from being up there. So,
all right.
And because it's hard to send out occasionally, and I can't expect all of them because they're on the road. I know that deal. I barely talk to family when I'm up there. And I was like, it's kind of, now I'm busy doing these other things. They're busy doing their thing. It's hard to stay in contact with guys, but it's like, it was always cool to be around the guys up there, and Bullshit and Ziggler and Wade and everybody. Heath, the New Day, Usos, I fucking could go down the line. It was great. And, there was someone that made a comment on the Sportster thing, which we're going to talk about, like on me riding alone and having a bad attitude and this and that. No, I rode alone because I wanted to learn with my free time and get a free education on the road. And when I'm with other guys, I'm a chatty Cathy. I'll talk all goddamn fucking the whole car ride. So I had to seclude myself and put myself alone in the car and just listen to audiobooks in order for me to focus and learn. Not because I fucking hate everybody. It's just so... And and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because of those fucking car rides and dedicating that time to learning and growing my mind. And I'm so thankful for that time. That was the best thing. It's like to see negative things on that one. We'll talk more about it. But the Tony Schiavone podcast, What Happened When? Check it out. Fucking great podcast.
All right.
Guy loves a great pair of tits, too. It's hard to hate a guy like that.
I appreciate that. The fact that he's a married man and he just... loves him a pair of...
It's how it should be. I'm glad his wife is cool. Like, the God made the female body to be admired and loved.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Lauren,
boy.
wake up. Actually, here's a side story. Last week, we drank... By the end of this podcast, I'm drunk. Okay, it's just the way it is.
We also went longer than we normally did by about 50 minutes last week. So
it's a good 2.5, 3 hours, and I'm like, I've been drinking... And tonight I'm drinking tequila with Zevia ginger ale.
Pat, the tequila, I think that's going to be the downfall of this show.
Downfall of my life. No, I'm good. I thought before I bought a giant a big handle of Tito's. A flask. I sneak that into family events.
Yeah, while you're training at WrestlePro in the office. That and a shotgun.
Hold on, guys, and I just fucking...
I actually like you. I told you this before. I like you having a handgun on you at all times. I feel like every promoter should. when I
go over
book Feed Me More wrestling shows eventually, I'm gonna have a handgun on me.
the old revolver.
Just so the guys know what I say is final.
Are you okay with doing the honor tonight and just fucking point at the old
hand? No, hand always goes near the hip when I tell them the finish, just so they know that is quick draw McGraw.
So last week I got really drunk and I closed the computer and I upload it and make sure I get it to Eddie, who is a fucking magician with his edits, making this show interesting with his
Shout
sounds.
out to Shining Wizards Eddie, just fucking killing it week in and week out. Killing it.
And apparently I crawled into bed with obviously my wife, and apparently I'm drunk, so I start, trying to rile her up a little bit. Mind you, it's 3 in the fucking it's almost 1 a.m. East Coast time right now. So it's about 3 in the morning. She has to wake up at 5 in the morning to go teach, first and second grade special needs children in the poorest congressional district in the country, in the Bronx. And I'm kind of blacked out. And all I remember her saying in me trying to basically attack her, she was like, I love you or something, but like, I have to wake up tomorrow very early. And then it clicked in my brain. I went, oh, okay. And I just rolled away and like embarrassingly like fell asleep because I felt so bad. I was trying to have sex with my wife in the middle of the night.
What a husband you are. I felt like if I was in that situation, I would just say, give me 3 minutes. 3 minutes, you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep better than you ever have right after this.
Oh man.
Just 3 minutes. Just say whatever you can to get into the moment. And then, if it goes longer, fucking great. But fucking, you're going to sleep. You got to promise in something good. You're going to sleep better than you ever have after this. Just sweating and
smelling like vodka.
Tequila sweat
worse.
In her eyes. She has to shower afterwards. She doesn't go back to bed. Just fuck up her entire day. Or tell her to take a scoop of Wake Up Unlimited Energy on an empty stomach and she'll feel better than ever. Available on feedmemore.com.
That's it. So now,
reviews of the week.
First review is from Bassa Lion. I thought it said Bassaroo for a minute. I thought it was our old waiter from Smoky Bones. After every listen, I just want to scream, feed me more. I just recently found out about the Big Guys podcast recently, and I absolutely had to check it out. I must say that I wasn't disappointed in the least bit, and on the same note, I found a new favorite weekly podcast to listen to. Well, thank you. Ryback is one of my favorite wrestlers, so he was easily the draw, but the entire team's what kept me around. Ryback's sense of humor is great to the point where my coworkers think that I'm crazy and think that he's crazy. His knowledge of health and workout tips have already helped me in my quest to live a healthier and longer life. Next paycheck, I will be checking out his supplements. His stories keep me captivated and more entertaining by comments from Pat Buck. The wrestling promoter always knows how to end the conversation. Sorry, my eyes are going. Very insightful opinion on pretty much every topic they talk about. In spite of the record, he definitely does an awesome job representing those in Big Guy's court. Shout out to Eddie, the technician wizard, who also adds in the right effects. I absolutely lost it when the Ryback workout tips soundbite was added in. All in all, thank you for the podcast. It's more than norm. P.S. I popped for the Scott Hall love handles.
Oh, hell yeah. I like that. That was a really shitty Stone Cold. Jesus. I'll never do that. I'm embarrassed I just did that. Can we edit that out, Eddie?
No, please keep it.
Eddie,
keep that soundbite.
It didn't sound like I thought it was going to sound. I thought it. God damn it! I just sounded like a fucking mark right there. God damn it! I'm everyone listening out there. I'm actually legitimately embarrassed right now. That was I was debating in my head doing that or the oh yeah with Macho Man, who I know I could do a point on Macho Man. And I went with the Austin, and holy fuck, did I bomb on?
I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was that bad. I would tell you.
Well, I'm red in the face right now.
Second review by C.R. Moyer 11. Ryback has some explaining to do. Ryback and Pat, I have been purchasing the Feed Me More nutrition supplements since they came out. The most recent order of Wake Up Unlimited Energy had me baffled, though. I opened the box to discover a slimy residue on the container. After a lengthy investigation, my mind was put to ease. It was Dr. Carver's shave butter. That is when I knew the big guy handled my order directly. Come on, big guy, clean up after yourself. In all seriousness, I've really enjoyed the podcast. After all the different segments you guys put into it, it's very entertaining to hear your different stories and experiences. You guys are not afraid to discuss any subject and give your honest opinion. I'd be lying if I knew of Pat before I started listening. Well, thanks, Dick. But I am glad he's on the podcast because he seems a hardworking dude and brings a different perspective. Thanks to your podcast, I started the keto diet. I've learned a lot of good workout tips, and I've even enjoyed a few stevia and vodkas. Or you mean Zevia and vodkas. Keep up the good work on the podcast with Feed Me More Nutrition. Cam.
Ooh, yeah.
That wasn't bad.
I felt good on that one. That one, I wish I would have done that for both. I had to redeem myself after the failing on the Austin one. But I hope that everyone knows the shea butter thing is a joke. I do not handle. I actually, true story, I'm using the shea butter not to jerk off, guys, but to shave because I ran out of shaving cream the other day. The shea butter, I don't want to talk bad about Dollar Shave Club, but I don't get what the big deal is on that shave butter. It does not fucking work as good as shaving cream.
Really? See, I swear to God, I used it today too, and I really liked it. I shaved my whole body because I'm a very fucking hairy man.
Maybe it works good on your body, but on my head, it like clumps up on the razor, and it doesn't. I don't get as close of a shave. Even like, I can't explain it. It's not that. I mean, it definitely works, but it's not like shaving cream. It's just. I don't like the texture of it. It's like a thin. It is a shave butter, but it was. I would prefer it to be more oily like butter. If it was I feel like using real butter would give me a better shave. But
try that out.
I'm gonna just melt a bar of butter and go into my shave with the bowl. Just dip the fucking razor in it, and no, that was both great. Do you have another one, or is that it?
That's all we got for this week.
Who was number one?
His name was Basilion. He's the one, very complimentary.
Yeah, I know, Basilion. I'm going with Basilion. Both were great reviews. Guys, this is never easy doing this. And I thank you guys each and every week, everybody, for participating and reviewing the show and for the kind words. And we're doing the best we can. We're two human beings. We're two best friends. We're out here. We bullshit. We talk. We talk about some serious things. We talk about a lot of bullshit. What's going on with me, what's going on with Pat, and we thank you guys for listening.
All right.
You're the winner this week, and go ahead and send a screenshot of your name with your review over to the big guy at feedmemore.com with your supplement of choice from Feed Me More Nutrition. And also, we're going to throw in a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle and workout towel. That's another thing, guys. Check out the Feed Me More Nutrition workout towels. I just dropped a couple off over to the old bull, the Roger Dodger, my dad, yesterday, and he goes, wow, these are really nice. Who usually, he's just an old guy who's hard to please. But the workout towels are legit. They're everything. Everything I get, the shaker bottles, I get the highest quality things. That was my whole thing was this, with this whole Feed Me More. Jesus Christ. Blah, 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 blah. With Feed Me More Nutrition was going all out with it. So these new workout towels they're not like the old ones. Those were rally towels for like my live shows. These are workout towels they're super soft and highly absorbent. They're great for working out. You can put them on benches and whatnot, but that's enough of that bullshit. But thank you guys for the reviews. Send that in. I'll get that out next week for you, buddy.
Okay. Where do we go from here?
Pat, I never hear Conrad say that.
Well, goddamn, fuck you. Because he does research.
Conrad seems like he's really.
That's the plan. It'll be you and Conrad going through 2012 WWE moments.
But it starts off as I add Conrad on Voxer, and I accidentally Vox you, and I think I'm Voxing Conrad, and you go, "What the fuck was that?" And and it's like, wait, you find out I'm cheating on you with Conrad.
I wouldn't blame you. I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, you know what? go with it.
No.
You just-
I wouldn't even know what to do. What are we going to timeline my career? And it just like, it's not nearly as cool as an entire promotion. I wanted to talk about this week before we get into maybe a few questions and end the show this week. With obviously the quotes of the week we'll get in, and the top 5 gimmicks for me, the big guy, to change on the Independent to get a little more buzz. But I wanted to talk about this week because I was just so everyone understands where this all came from. We talked about before that the Sportster is an online.
Yeah. If I can step in, because I mean, just because look, you've noticed things written about you, and
you're going to get that when you reach a certain level. You're going to have there's good and there's bad, but there's some of this. It's so far it's coming out all since I left WWE, and it's very weird to say the least.
And I mean, not to play devil's advocate, but when you told me about it, I was like, oh, you know, it's probably a couple, you know. I understand an article here or there, and you said, just Google this. And then I Googled what you told me to Google. I forget what the exact thing was. So the 2 main culprits of things that really go after wrestling are Sportskeeda and the Sportster.
Yeah.
And
very negative articles all the way across the board.
And granted, they do call out different people, but I mean, how many articles did you find?
I can't count. The Sportster has one after the other. I'm involved in every negative article there is with wrestling. I'm like one of the key figures in it. So just so everyone understands where I was in my hotel room in Buffalo, and the I truly love meet and greets. I have from day one. WWE, I did a lot of them, and I can honestly say there's never been not one complaint from anyone with me at meet and greets.
No.
I understand them. I know what I am there for. I love meeting my fans at those. I remember being a kid and wanting to meet Razor Ramon, and I got Henry Godwin, and I remember how good he was with me, how professional. It just had a lasting effect. I understand, and that moment stayed with me for my life. I'm 35 now. And I was a fucking kid when that all happened. So I know that by giving fans and just being nice and talking and just being a real human being, that experience lasts a lifetime. And so I do not want to have a negative effect on another human being's life, especially a kid, at meet and greets. So I was in my room and I go, I bet you there's a negative article with me on meet and greets because this came out of nowhere. You just I did it. I wanted because the meet and greet, everything went so good. And again, and this isn't. I don't want to. This is going to come. I don't want to. I want to say this the correct way, especially since I left WWE. But even there, I'm my own brand. I always try to just do the best business possible wherever I go. That's no matter what I do, no matter what aspect of my life. So especially since I left WWE, these meet and greets are, that's how I make the promoters their money back on top of doing the shows with them.
It's pretty much a way to justify. I mean, when I go to book talent that cost, above the considerable norm, the first thing a good promoter will do in wrestling will be, well, can they make that money back on the meet and greet?
Yeah.
And can it actually potentially turn profit? And that's like a big it's a big thing. It's actually for the successful promoters out there that are in independent wrestling, outside of the indie like smart mark things, which they suffer with their crowds. But for the ones that have really big houses, that is the number one thing, is basing it on the meet and greets.
And that is why, and the rate is what it is because the meet and greets that I do always have a good turnout. And I always and I enjoy doing them, and I want everybody to win on when I'm booked, because I want to do repeat business. I want to be able to go back there. Yeah.
Not to cut you off, how long have you been away from WWE television? Less than.
It's been over a year now. It's been a year in May. It's 13 months now. Probably.
13 months.
14 months. Yeah.
So in my opinion, not that much time compared to someone trying to command a rates from, say, that stopped wrestling on TV in 2012. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, I have other things going on, and we have a podcast. I'm still out there. In this day and age, and this podcast, we're getting a whole new following for this.
But also, I want to explain things too, because people will try any ways to nail you to the old big guy cross, and I feel lumped into this too because I see the comments here and there.
This one, Bob, and I'm very honest about this. You're gonna get hate. The more successful you are, the more hate you get. This one though is such utter bullshit. This one because I take this very personal because I truly know how much and from the feedback I've gotten from day one from everyone on these meet and greets, this is why this one really bothers me, is because this one, there's people out there trying to hurt me and my brand and the perception of me, and it's even worse since I've left WWE, and we're going to tell the people the articles and to go read. I want everyone to read them because it's so disturbing to me, and they're both these articles are by the same guy. Sorry, what were you going to say? I don't.
Oh, sorry, I lost track of that. We made. I'll say this here: when you left, you actually had a certain thing in mind, and I said, no, I don't think you should do that. I think you should actually go for, and actually, I was the one that put to you. I think you should raise your rate based on what you want to do, based on the amount of, the good promotions will come. Rather than I'm like, this is the value that I think that you have, and I was actually the one to put that into you. But more so, I find that people just find ways to knock that, like just try to. I don't know. It's kind of just alarming to me that people can. It's if people really
that have the reach on these. I blame the Sportster for allowing, this guy, Nicholas Baroni, who wrote the two articles about me, no image of him, no social media things on him. It's like a fake name. It's somebody out there. It's like, well, who the fuck is writing these articles? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you look at the Sportster, there's name after name. There's article after article on these things on I'm the biggest failure in wrestling, this and that, and on the Independence, and there's just all these random. There's every article they do is highly negative, essentially. It's clickbait, but it's for something like this. And I told you, I have to defend this because this kind of thing, if promoters read this, it could hurt my brand. It could hurt bookings. It's just and since I left WWE, more of them are coming out. When in theory, less of them should be coming out. But it's because I'm not on TV, but more of them, and it's by a lot of the same people. And I just question what these people's agenda is against me, essentially.
Okay. So where are you going with that? Like, do you have a theory or?
No, I don't. I honestly, I can't. There's nothing would ever shock me, but I just think it's really alarming that since I left WWE, there's more negative articles on me on how bad of a human being I am, how bad of a person, how bad of a wrestler. And these two articles by Nicholas Baroni.
Also, mind you, before you even say that article, has there been, because I haven't seen it and I haven't dealt with it, one promotion that has said a negative word or appearance at all, whether it be publicly or privately, about anything that you've done? I haven't seen anything. No,
and that's why I wanted to address this.
Okay.
And this is why I don't want to toot my own horn on this, because there's so many guys out there and women that are great with the meet and greets. This last week, again, the people that worked with me out there, the guy that was standing out there and the woman who was working with me, they just said, you are the nicest person we've ever seen do meet and greets. You give your fans time, you talk to them. I get that a lot. I'm sure there's people much better than me at meet and greets. I just try to be me. That's all I do. I always get positive feedback. I've never had anybody give negative feedback on me on meet and greets with any fans. I don't remember ever being angry with fans at meet and greets. I always try to give them a good experience. Sometimes it's a quicker experience if the line is really long and you're on a time limit. With WWE, a lot of them are kind of rushed. But I've never been not engaged with a fan. And
to be fair, there are, for the most part, I'd say 95% of wrestlers are great with meet and greets. They really
the
are.
majority, and a lot of people on this list. There's a lot of people on this list. The 15. This list by Nicholas Baroni is 15 wrestlers who absolutely hate meet and greets. I didn't print out the entire list because it's I don't the names. There's a lot of big names on this. Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Randy Orton, Batista. I think Sasha Banks is on it. And I don't believe in it. It's all just a bullshit article. But I was shocked. Shawn actually came back at number 1, and Shawn's always been a pleasure to be around when I was around him. I've never had a bad experience with Shawn whatsoever. Randy Orton came in at number 3, and I came in at number 2 as the all-time worst at meet and greets.
What the fuck, man?
Nicholas Baroni. Yeah. No, this is why I want to share this with
Sorry,
people.
yeah, before you share it, like right away I just saw Lita. I've had Lita at my meet and greets. I've seen how she handles people.
Everybody on these are all people that I have met and been around, and so I don't know who this guy is. Again, there's no image of this guy. You can't find any social media things on him. I tried contacting the Sportster. I believe the articles are still up. They have not taken them down. And it's an unfortunate situation, but they will be removed. But I want everyone to check them out while they're still up. Because I want people to see what exists out there. And why you can't believe everything you read. And if you've ever met me at a meet and greet and you're listening to this, you know I don't have to even explain anything.
Fuck.
I apologize. The print on this is really small, so I'm going to do my best to read this. The big guy Ryback is a former WWE and current independent wrestler who many have said over the years comes across as someone who doesn't like being a part of meet and greet sessions. Ryback is not a very outspoken guy like a Scott Steiner, but there have been occasions when Ryback would be very abrupt with fans, and many thought if he had the "I'm above this" attitude. It's pretty crazy to tell if someone enjoys meeting their fans, and for Ryback, his interactions, at least while he was in the WWE, came across as a bit forced. And he seemed like someone who only took part in them because the WWE told him to. Let's see. Some have even mentioned that Ryback's dislike for meeting the fans and generating good publicity for the WWE were some of the reasons why he never received any sustained pushes. There has even been on occasion where Ryback declined to take a short, fun video with a YouTuber by the name of Grimm's Toy Show, and it came across as rude and uncalled for. This is really small lettering, guys, just so you know. I think it's safe to say that Ryback's attitude regarding the meeting and greeting of fans during his WWE stint was definitely far from the greatest, and I believe it played a part in why his ceiling in the company was much lower than it could have been. I just want to say again, I've always done videos with fans. I don't even recall the Grimm's Toy Show one, but if I declined, it was because there was a long line, and it triggers other people asking for videos, that if you're on a timed session, that you will not get through everybody if you start doing videos one after the other. But I don't even recall that incident. It very well could have happened, but I guarantee I said it in a polite way. There was actually an incident at the show this weekend at the Comic-Con with 2 kids that wanted me to do a YouTube video for them with their dad. And the line was really long, and I said, guys, the problem with doing videos on these is everybody then after starts asking for videos. And it gets really lengthy. It's something that happens, and I've learned that you want to usually get through the line, but there was a back door right by us. I said, please come to the back door and I'll do the video for you guys back there right now. And then so I can come back out here so it doesn't trigger more videos. And I always explain it just like this to the person so they understand why if I do say no, granted, if it's a smaller line and it's not a big deal, it's probably not a big deal. But you got to be understanding of other people. And that's, so just the fact that even popped up in there, I was just like, Jesus Christ. But, it's just, this guy, it really, really bothered me that this one was an article because meet and greets, WWE, there's a lot, and I'll say this, WWE on the overseas tours, on the UK, They book us for meet and greets at Toys R Us and toy stores for 2 hours. There's money being passed from someone in this. They don't pay the talents money on these meet and greets. I'll bitch and fucking yell at WWE all day long. Well, my issue is the toy store's bringing us in. There's money being transferred from one party to the other. Why isn't it being fucking passed over, at least a portion of it, to the person putting on the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Everybody's getting something out of this.
Meaning the person signing, correct?
Yes.
Well,
so
that's like one of the
my
biggest
last year
areas.
there. My last year there, they paid me for those because I fucking bitched about it enough. Which a lot of, if you wrestle for WWE and you're on the UK tour, and they book you on meet and greets, you 100% need to make sure that you need to make sure that they pay you for those, because people are making money. That if it was a free event, that's one thing.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
This is what goes on there. And they just expect you. So the toy store can make money, WWE can make money, but you can't. No, speak up for yourself on that shit, because it's fucking bullshit. But that never transferred over to me meeting the fans. That was always the same, because they have nothing to do with that whole process. But you got guys like this asshole who go out and write bullshit, in which this Nicholas Baroni, there's another article out there. I want everyone to look this up. 15 images of Ryback being a douchebag, D-bag, by the Sportster. And then I want you to go ahead and look at the 15 images. All images are of me playing a heel character in WWE or participating in a WWE photo shoot. But this dumb motherfucker is allowed to go on the Sportster and publish articles. This goddamn guy believes it's still fucking real. I should win a goddamn fucking Golden Globe. Is that what they are, the goddamn Golden Globe, for my fucking acting as a bully on WWE TV? Because this guy believes. Have you checked that out?
I'm trying to find it right now. Sportster.
It is. I want everyone to hit pause right now and go look at 15 images of Ryback being a D-bag by Nicholas Baroni, and just see that this is the guy that's writing other articles for sports and other professions and wrestling, and 15 images of me being a douchebag in character.
God damn it, I'm trying to find it.
Blew me away, Pat. I cannot tell you that the fact that this guy is even allowed to fucking have articles, but it's things like that. And then you got those the hardcore fan, the fucking marks, as I call them, that are the negative fans. All they do is go from board to board to article, and they're reading and they believe all this shit is real. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't help my perception or anybody else's, for that matter, when people are writing. And you're going to have hate all day long from things, but there's some of this shit. It's like, come on, get a fucking life, guys. I wanted to touch on that this week. I just think the meet and greets thing, really, the D-bag thing is such a fucking laugh. The guy writes it as if it's the most real thing in the world, which it's. He references me bullying people on TV on working for WWE in fake land. I'm like, God damn, man.
No, he's got a point. Stop being a fucking douchebag.
Imagine somebody writing an article, 15 reasons why Arnold Schwarzenegger should go to jail for being a murderer, and he he references Terminator and Commando and every other fucking Arnold movie where he kills somebody.
Good point.
Think about it. That's what this dumb motherfucker is doing. It's just like, goddamn, Nicholas Baroni, if you exist, I would love to fucking meet you.
Oh man,
just a fucking loser. Holy shit. I want to like human beings, man. But when you got people like this out there that are just trying to fucking ruin your name and brand, and God damn it, guys, be better than that. There's no need. I feel like if you're a journalist, that job, you should do such research and homework, because you are dealing with other human lives and the perception about those lives with the articles that you write, that you should be 100% certain that whatever you write is fact.
Well, I wonder, does this exist in other sports? Because I feel like it doesn't, where it's like everyone that's involved with pro wrestling, they see all these little things that pop up on, because all these Sportskeeda and fucking Sportster,
yeah, they
put up paid little things. And I'm an NFL fan. I don't really see much things like, see what fucking this guy did, 15 images of, Eric Decker being a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah, 15 images of LeBron James kicking puppies in the stomach. Like, whatever the fuck. Like, I mean.
maybe there is. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe there is, but I've never seen it. Like, it's just, wrestling is such a, like, people can't. I'm telling you, that's where the term fucking mark came from. These goddamn losers that can't distinguish between real life and make believe. It's fucking retarded, man. It really is,
Well,
and I hate to use that word, but it's fucked up. I get hot over it.
We have a lot of questions here.
Let's go ahead and change the tone. I need to. You know what? I want to turn this around. I want something positive before we go into the questions.
Yeah.
Eddie, it's that time again for the tips of the week. Go ahead and throw that in. Tips of the week. Yay. All right. Quote of the week this week. You can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging with the turkeys. By Gary Kent. I actually read that in a book that I'm getting ready to suggest this week for my book of the week, which was suggested to me by Conrad Thompson, our good friend, over with the Something to Wrestle podcast and What Happened When podcast. The book, it actually says it's by Zig Ziglar, which he has actually changed it up a little bit, but I believe it came from Gary Kent. And book of the week, The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. I finished that actually yesterday on my car ride back from California. And Conrad, suggested that one. Great book. There's so many good. It ties in a little bit to The Secret, positive thinking, and just the art of selling.
Wait, who mentioned this?
Conrad suggested it to me. Yeah.
Oh, right.
The Psychology of Selling. He said it was the best book that he's ever read, I believe.
Okay.
It's a great book. Honestly, I loved every second of it. It lived up to the hype. Nutrition tip of the week. Try replacing this again. This is plugging the supplements, but I'm doing this because it works. Try replacing your morning coffee with a scoop or half a scoop of Wake Up Unlimited Energy on an empty stomach. If you find yourself getting sluggish in the afternoon, and if you're somebody that still wants to take it when you work out, do half a scoop in the morning, half a scoop when you go work out. I'm telling you, it will last. You don't crash from it. I notice on the mornings when I take it right when I wake up, the energy, I'm like, it amazes me every time. It goes all throughout the day. So rather than drinking coffee after coffee, try that instead. Just give it a shot and tell me what you think. Workout tip of the week this week. If, again, my shoulder, I'm dealing with the issues with it and it's recovering. Try the perfect push-up. I don't know. Have you ever seen those, Pat?
I have.
They are great for bad shoulders. And they put you in your shoulders in the perfect position as far as being in that neutral position. And then you turn them as you go down. And then you go, and
they look like little circles, right?
Yeah.
Those things?
They're called the perfect push-up. Man, they give you a great workout. And they're great when you have an injury and you need to work around it. So check those out, guys. I have them in my home gym along with all the weights and everything. I have a lot of little gadgets out there. I was using them last week. I got to do them tomorrow when I do back and chest. And perfect push-up. Check them out.
Okay. So I think it's about time for questions. I don't know if we have any question music here. Eddie, I'm making you come up with something right on the fly.
I got a question!
Quest for questions of the week.
I notice we have more rapid fire and, dare I say, better, somewhat negative, a couple of them, questions on Instagram. So I took a couple screenshots.
I sent them to you also. Did you get those?
Oh, I got a couple from you, but was that from Twitter or Instagram?
Both. I sent everything to your Facebook, actually.
Okay, yeah, I have all these in front of me. So
I had to block that guy that left a lot of negative ones, but I took.
Lauren saw that.
Yeah,
I have them all in front of me.
Go click on his images, and then you just you look at these people. You're just like, Jesus Christ, buddy.
Because Lauren saw that. She's like, what is wrong with people? Like, what is wrong? This guy is like a normal
crazy,
kid.
Right? No, but he's not. If you look at his image, I can tell in his face he's a chromosome away from being handicapped.
Uh-oh.
That's what we talked about. That's the most dangerous. He's not handicapped. He's a step above it, which is the most dangerous, because if he was handicapped, he'd be the nicest person in the world. He's not. So he's like, we talked about this on the podcast. He's like fucking the Gremlins. Spike when they're Mogwais, when they're still in the friendly state, but you could tell he's an evil little fucking prick.
Gotcha.
He's evil. That's what.
So if he gets wet or if he eats after midnight.
Yeah.
Fucked.
Watch out.
This one I thought was my favorite question. So I'm going to start off right with this. From Kenny Morton on Twitter, Morton88. You and the big guy, if you had to organize a WrestleMania main events for the world title and can only use people that have never held the world title before, who would you pick? You would have to exclude yourself, but so...
Oh, wait. Is it booking a main event match or just a card?
Main event match for WrestleMania, the world title, but you can only use people that have not held the world title before. So I guess it has to be present day roster with people who have not had the world title before.
I'm just trying to think.
So am I.
I'm not excluding myself because I am. That's what I want. I would like that. That would be. That would draw. But it would need to be with the right guy and the right story. And I'm trying to think of someone else that has not had it. Yeah. Not had it. Who can you think of off the top of your head? Maybe it'll trigger something in me.
I mean, Dolph has never had the world, like the main one, right?
No, he had the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
That night I turned on Cena. He won it, I believe, from Alberto, right?
Okay, yeah. So I guess I go Dolph. Has Ambrose had it?
Ambrose has had it. Seth
He's had the world title?
Or the WWE Championship.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's the two titles now, but you just got to think any champion, any of the world WWE, it's all the same.
Oh, you're counting both of them. So you're counting the big gold belts.
Yeah, just both of them.
You are. Ooh, this is really tough then. Okay.
I don't even. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Man.
That has never had the big gold belts or the Universal or now the regular whatever.
Rusev versus Ryback in an angle. It would have to be the right storyline, though. You need a hot storyline. I pitched you
this storyline when you were
working with
Rusev. Do you remember this?
Ryback versus Shane McMahon, with Shane defending his father with a real-life angle with everything. That also could pull it off. It would have to be the right angle with everything.
Okay.
The angle's everything. It's the angle. It's not that would be cool. Kind of like Shane.
I was going to say, remember when you were working with Rusev, I said, pitch something where you get Lana for 30 days and you have to make her do like American things. I thought that would have been fucking great TV.
That would have been great. I would have loved it. And it was pitching stuff is at that point was worthless.
That's a tough question. I don't have an answer for this one because I mean it's hard to figure out.
I like my answer. It is tough though.
Of course you do.
You can make yeah. I'm in it. No shit. You could honestly with the right build up you could do anything. So
I got a question.
All right, other questions. So I have one from that guy who wrote you many things. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm not going to give him any feedback.
First one is why. But a lot of negative comments on that.
Well, that was his first one. Was why haven't you blocked me yet?
It's because I don't live on social media. I put that out there, then I go and check before the show when I print them out. And then I see, there's a fucking troll putting 30 fucking comments on there. All right, I'll block him, but I'll screenshot the questions and send them to Pat, and we won't address his name, but he'll never see anything I do ever again.
So I guess I don't read his questions then either.
I don't even think we need to fuck him.
They're not that funny. They're just kind of being a dick.
Yeah. He just wanted he needs attention. Mommy and Daddy didn't hug him enough growing up, so.
I had that too. But Lawrence.
Well, you're a great human being. Shit, you're not a fucking asshole.
I got a question.
Lawrence MJ7 on Instagram, he wrote snog, which I believe he's a Brit because I think that means to have sex with. Marry, kill. Ziggler, Cena, and he put Pat's wife. That's not very nice, sir. So
you're putting me in a really shit position here with all the. So I got to
Before I read the question, I saw it was the only one that wasn't insulting that I didn't notice till I read the words Pat's wife. I might have to skip over that one. I assume you'd marry Miss Lauren.
Wait, so either fuck, marry, kill essentially is the fucking
pretty much.
Question.
So you're gonna have to either marry or have sex with Ziggler. Either way, that's one.
Yeah, there's. Jesus Christ! Are we really doing this for a question? I hate it. I wish I would have gone over. No, I got to answer this now. I got to. It's been put out there. The fans want to know. We'll kill Cena just to get that out of there.
Okay, that's done.
I'm just looking. He'll be quick. I won't make him suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Technically, and Ziggler's one of my best friends.
So you could hang out with him every day, or you just get one and done and have a nice life with Lauren. I don't know. She has a hell of a wife. This is weird. This is some weird shit.
I never thought I was going to be put in this position on the podcast. You'll never. I can't. There's no win on this at all.
There's no win.
There's no. I feel like though. I feel like here's my way out of this with answering this.
You kill my wife?
I can marry Ziggler and not have any interaction with Ziggler sexually still by marrying him. So that covers me on that end.
It does.
But there's no way around the snog part. But I feel like that's the best chance we have of being friends still, because if I marry her, then clearly we're not friends.
Yeah.
If I snog her, clearly we're not friends.
Yeah.
But it's I
You're
feel
gonna have
like
to murder her.
I feel but then
You
but
could
then
marry Cena.
But then I would have to fuck Ziggler or kill Ziggler. Fuck you, whoever asked that question. That's my way out of that.
I got a question.
Next question
I
from
tried
Papa
my
Bear.
best.
Papa Bear 05. Should you
Wait, is that Papa Bear our friend?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. This is gonna
talk
be
about
horrible.
when Hawkins had me troll you in Deep South on Twitter. I had you going good 143, which means obviously I love you.
That was FCW. It was a show in which this is actually the worst match of my entire career was with Jinder Mahal. Remember, I don't know if you were there for that. We ended up doing a match on the fly, and it was it was probably my worst match ever. Just nothing went right. And Jinder was like super new to developmental at that time, and it was really fucking funny actually. But it was after NXT, and we all were down there. None of us really knew what the Nexus thing hadn't happened yet.
Okay.
And I remember driving back, and Hawkins was in the crowd. I don't think he worked for that show.
Okay.
He had Papa Bear start sending me shit comments like he was in the crowd watching the match. But I never knew Papa Bear. That was Hawkins' really good friend from back east. So I'm like in the car going home, and I'm like, man, this guy on Twitter is giving me a lot of shit. And it was like comment after, like he knew, like, it was like he was at the show, and but Hawkins was telling him what to say because Hawkins was at the show. So and then finally Hawkins smartened me up because he could tell that this Papa Bear was like hitting all my chords because it was Hawkins in the car with me, and Hawkins knew all the right buttons what to push, and it was fucked up, man.
I got a question.
All right, next question from Gabe. I can't say his name. Gabe_Welty on Twitter. Do you ever stop eating? Do you sleep? Do you eat while sleeping? Was Pac-Man your father? Did you eat him too?
Yeah, no, I love food. I always have. I eat all the time, but I eat healthy, and I sleep. I'm a big believer in getting the correct amount of sleep, and everybody's amount that they need is different. And obviously, I've gone on little sleep for a long time, but especially right now, I'm trying to get 8 hours every night with my shoulder because when you get that deep sleep, and I got my sleep formula that's going to be coming out soon. Everyone's going to love the name of my sleep formula. And everything, I actually got to get that trademarked here. But when I take that sleep formula, I knock out deep, and I try to get 8 hours with my shoulder the way that it is. But I eat and sleep, yes.
Okay. Another question from Mike White on Twitter. Is amino acids better than taking protein powder? And if so, how much protein powder should you take?
Everybody's different on their intake of protein. Typically, I would say Women usually could probably get away with 1 scoop. Men typically want 2 scoops. And it depends on the time of day. I do 3 scoops a lot of times because especially on the keto, when I'm not, if I'm doing a protein shake, I'm doing no fats. Or occasionally I'll do a scoop of coconut oil with it. But usually if I'm going, I'll do 3 scoops because I want the extra protein for the energy. If my fats are not as high for that meal. But amino acids are really good in between meals to keep you in a positive nitrogen balance. A lot of times, a lot of people like to do empty stomach cardio in the morning.
Yeah.
And amino acids are really good to take at that time before you do to prevent muscle breakdown before you do the empty stomach cardio. So amino acids, I have mine coming out hopefully this year. It's you want to take it at the right times. A lot of them are shit as far as being sweetened with aspartame and sucralose. And I got a blend. I got a hybrid amino acid coming out with a couple other really cool things that people are going to love and sweetened with stevia. So, yeah, they're great for in between meals. Essentially, they're not because you're not getting the calories, and they're great for dieting when your calories are severely restricted. They can come in handy, especially on the keto diet. But they definitely have their place. Yes.
Okay. Another question from, God damn it. This fucking Paul Lee picture just keeps popping up.
I love that he is haunting you right now.
He's haunting me. What is your favorite kind of meat from Straight Edge Geiss?
Let's make this the last question before we take a break and come back with our final segment of the show tonight. My favorite cut of beef, or why, did you have one other good one?
It's not good, but go ahead. Just go.
All right. I'm a big sirloin guy, but filet mignon is there's no question how good that is. They're typically smaller though. I usually go with a sirloin most places because they can get medium, and you can never go wrong with that in my book. I used to do medium well all the time, but medium's a little tastier. So,
okay. Last question from L Shay 3. Where will Pat Buck go on vacation this summer that is Zika free?
What's that?
I think my wife's trying to hint to me that she wants to have kids. And she's been, and I was like, why did you put that up there? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And she was like, you know, the Zika virus, right?
Wait a second. Well, she clearly last week should have gone a different way then, if that's the case.
What do you mean? Oh,
After the podcast last week. I feel like that should have been a definite yes then, especially you in that state.
Well, she's on the old pill ski. So, but apparently if you go, we want to go on vacation soon.
We talked about this. I need to go on a vacation. Priscilla's been on me to go on one.
Hey, I pitched Disney World, so if there's any person listening to this podcast that wants to hook us up with a nice Disney World vacation, or
if you live in Orlando and work for Disney World and want to hook the big guy Ryback and Pat Buck up, I would be all for that. I would love to go down to Orlando for a big vacation. Maybe swing down to NXT, take a few arm drags, go to the park for the day.
Take a couple hip tosses.
Pick up fucking Tenzai, fucking shell shock him. Fucking, call it a day.
So my wife is obsessed with we go to resorts too. Like we went to like Tulum for a honeymoon in Mexico. Like we may go to, Costa Rica or a couple other tropical places, but the Zika virus is from mosquitoes. You get bit
okay, I remember that, yeah.
So apparently when you have it in your system, if you have a child or pregnant or have a kid within a certain amount of time frame, they're at risk to have something like it's almost like a cone head. Like their heads will cave inward.
I have a cone head, I feel like. My head's a little pointy.
If you look up, it's some really like, you feel bad for.
Yeah.
It's not like a slight, I mean, I have a giant head myself, but I mean like, it's a really abstract, devastating kind of disability. Like it looks very not painful.
Oh, yeah. No, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, that sucks.
But on that note.
But I would love to go on vacation. I think I want to before I come back wrestling, but I told like Priscilla, like I want to just get a few things. I've spent so much money the last This stuff, it costs a lot of money, and I've done very well this year, but I've spent more than I've ever spent my entire life with everything going on. Especially the stem cell stuff costs a lot of money, but it's I would like to take a little vacation before I come back to working full time again.
All right.
So we'll take one more break here, and we'll come back. We got some more great stuff here on Conversation with the Big Guy. If you're anything like us, you like to enjoy a nice cold soda every now and then, but you hate the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners that come with it. With Zevia, you don't have to pick your poison. You won't feel awful worrying about the potentially harmful side effects, because with Zevia, there are none. Zevia uses the all-natural sweetener stevia and doesn't have any caramel coloring either. The result is a delicious and safer soda with none of the nasty stuff. Zevia has 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling water, and 4 flavors of awesome energy drinks. This is the naturally sweetened pop you and your family will crave. And Zevia is giving you the opportunity to try their products for yourself for free. That's right, for free. If you live in the US or Canada, just go to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up, and they'll mail you a coupon for a free 6-pack. What are you waiting for? Head to Zevia.com/podcast and get your hands on some ASAP.
Special announcement. Finally, Feed Me More Nutrition is back on Amazon. And coming soon, the Feed Me More Nutrition workout towels. That's Feed Me More Nutrition, available now on Amazon, and coming soon, Feed Me More Nutrition workout towels. Yeah.
Hey everyone, in addition to being the co-host of this podcast, I'm the founder and promoter of WrestlePro. Dare I say, WrestlePro puts on the best professional wrestling live events in the country. We're also fully insured and licensed. Now, if you're listening to the show, then you clearly love professional wrestling, and I appreciate that. But I also have a question for you. Would you like professional wrestling in your area, maybe in your hometown, your high school, your college, your civic center, your stadium? Whatever you want. If you're a civic group, a sports team, a fire department, a police department, if you have a corporate event, a festival, any group that is looking to raise funds or put on an entertaining show, WrestlePro is your promotion. This is not your regular wrestling show. Just in the last year, WrestlePro has brought in incredible talent such as Terry Funk, DDP, Booker T, Ryback, Cody Rhodes, Hornswoggle, Colt Cabana, Brian Cage, Jeff Jarrett, Tommy Dreamer, the Hardy Boys, Scott Steiner, and much, much more. Even the Nature Boy Ric Flair has been with WrestlePro and loves it. Tell him, Nate.
It's the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair, Russell Pro, the Nature Boy, signing autographs. Look as only can look. Russell Pro, be there. Woo, 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 woo. Limousine riding, jet flying. Woo! Russell Pro. Woo!
If you're seriously interested, WrestlePro can bring a live wrestling show to your town. A full professional wrestling card complete with talent, 8 matches, sound system, lighting, the works. We design the artwork and posters. We help you sell the tickets. We push all of our events all over our social media. We believe in good repeat business. Packages and prices vary on talent requested and their availability. For more information, contact me directly at WrestleProOnline@yahoo.com or simply check out www.wrestleproonline.com and you can see our past and upcoming events to get a taste of what WrestlePro is all about. I hope to hear from you soon. All right, and we're back, and we like to get to our main segment or, idea that we think about that we think is funny or relevant. And we've been talking about this, your independent run and how...
Yes.
I don't know how you put it. I put it in terms of, do we need to build more sympathy or buzz? What do we... Ways to not enhance, but what are other options out there? Maybe we could reinvent the old character. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. Like, things that you always got to kind of evolve and build the character. Feed Me More is always that is the brand. That is always going to be a part of Ryback no matter what. Unless you're Vince and turn me heel, then no, you can never say that because it's only when you're a babyface, which I get it kind of, but the different variations of that And it's not being in WWE now with the independents and having total freedom. We're actually going to put a poll up on our official Twitter at CWTBG on Twitter and for conversation with the big guy. And so go ahead and follow that, guys, if you're listening. And we'll put a poll up this week on who you think I should evolve, on what you think I should evolve the character into with the list of choices that we're going to give you. Some serious, maybe some not serious.
None of them are
I don't
serious.
know. This is yeah, let's be honest. None of these are fucking serious. There's one of these I could pull off for a fact. I know I could pull off. The others are all pretty funny. So
before you go into it,
Pat,
I'm going to say that if there's a good chance here a lot of our personas are similar, and if I find that it's a similar one, I'm not going to count it on my list. I'm going to delve into yours and maybe give my little 2 cents on how we get this gimmick cooking, how we bring it to life.
Good deal. I'm all for this. Go ahead, Pat. I'll let you start. If you want me to start this off,
You start this off.
All right, number 5. This one is very simple, very effective, though. It gets the crowd behind you. And I feel like I look around on all the rosters, and you know what? I really don't see anybody that's doing this right now. And it's the All-American big guy. USA singlet, Patriot mask, just fucking, maybe even
a mask.
Just the All-American big guy. Blend all the greats, the Patriot, a little bit of Kurt Angle with the singlet, the All-American singlet, just fucking USA, just fucking milking it for all it's worth. Meet and greets are great. Who doesn't want to meet an All-American guy?
Let's meet in the middle here, because one of my number 5 on the list, much like we have Samoa Joe, we have American Ryback. And
yes.
I don't know if you thought about theme music, because I think this is part of the package, and this is an independent run, but we get a little Eye of the Tiger playing, and you have to exchange your power moves for karate kicks.
Which, I'm no stranger to Muay Thai.
You're just an American guy.
They're going to be very, very stiff with no kick.
You're just an American guy that just does American things. You sell dollar flags, little mini flags at the gimmick table.
The dollar glasses, the All-American shade
We can
glasses.
do that, red, white, and blue. We're all 3 for maybe $2 a piece. We get all 3 for $5.
USA flag pendants. I like the way this is sounding from a gimmick
This
standpoint.
big money. Angle's not doing it anymore. I mean, I like the mask idea too.
The All-American big guy. I think you need to, because you got to. I got the singlet. We go All-American with the singlet, and then I need the American mask as well. I need to totally. I have to reinvent myself. I have to embrace the All-American.
All right.
Big guy. All right, what do you got for your number 4?
My number 4 is homeless Ryback, and
I'm glad I don't have this one on here. Jesus.
So here's the whole persona. Okay, now the theme music. I'm thinking Eddie. We're thinking Freebird, Leonard Skinner, something kind of a little sad, a little Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump.
Because the ankle injury, I got the gimbal.
Yeah, you have a limp. That's a big part of it. So you're limp into the ring. Your catchphrase will change from "Feed me more" to "Feed me please." You're going to be a little bit thinner. I'm going to need you to drop 90 pounds.
You're not far off from my number 4, so this is good.
You got to grow the beard out a little bit, and I'm thinking you got to grow the hair back. I'm thinking,
Yeah, we definitely have to for
your
that.
singlet has to have a few rips in it. You can keep it, but it needs a couple holes.
Just hanging off my body.
Yeah. And one of your boots has to flap a little bit, like when it kind of tears away. The weight belts, it's got to be missing a few letters, and the whole thing is that every match has to start with a promo. But basically, how the internet has destroyed you, and that you're on tough times now, and you're basically kind of like a Randy the Ram, but you're on tough times, and
much tougher times. It sounds like. Am I living out of a van too to really live the gimmick?
One of the big things is during the match, you have to buy drugs from the crowd. Oh man,
I was not expecting that. Buying drugs from the crowd. By the way, before every match, I do a in-ring photo session before the match for the fucking drug money during the match.
Oh, that would be great. You take a couple photos, get the money.
It's only a couple. It's only a couple. Nobody. It's not going to be any more than that.
No, it'll just be like $100, and you buy a bag. You get through that helps you get through the match. Balls Mahoney RVD style.
Oh, holy shit! I wasn't expecting homeless Ryback.
Oh, fuck.
I saved my good ones for the top of the list.
I didn't think that would be a good one, but fuck. All right, keep going.
That was, that was entertaining. My number 4 is I go ahead, I lose 50 pounds, I go to kick pads and Nike Air Maxes, and I call myself Flyback.
Lieback.
Flyback. I'm all about the high flying, the dives, the backflips.
50? I think you got to go lower than that. You got to.
What do you think?
I'm thinking.
Because typically when I'm at my normal weight, I'm between 285 290. I'm 275 right now, so 273, 275.
You got to drop 90 pounds at least. You
all right, same as homeless Ryback, but without. Okay, I'm cool.
They're all around the 180 pound mark.
I'm writing 90. By the way, I'm writing 90 pounds down on my notes, like as if this is a real thing. Like I need to remember. I need to remember this.
It's a big test.
The big catchphrase for Flyback is the no selling, dive flying, wheeling dealing, springboard flinging, backflip dinging son of a gun. That's what Flyback is all about.
Oh man! All right, Flyback.
I can't wait for my number 3.
Okay. My other one, I don't know if I don't think you'll get upset by this, but this was actually a tag team that was pitched during the old WrestleMania weekend. I don't know if it's on your list.
It's not.
But the Indie Fat Guys.
Oh, Wade's going to be hot. You're exposing this. He's very serious. Stu Bennett is very serious about this gimmick, by the way.
Well,
I'm all for it, too. I think it's money.
This will put buzz in people, or plant the seed in people's brains, where you guys start teaming on independent shows dressed.
Me and Wade in a tag team is money, by the way, anywhere. So because for the whole Nexus deal, but
dressed in fat suits, with t-shirts and shorts on, and the whole thing is we've tried to do it our way. We want to relate to you independent folk out there, and just very sluggish in matches, even though it's just wearing a fat suit. But we don't do a lot. We keep it very basic, and the biggest heels in the territories. But you've agreed to cut the rate as well.
For Indie Fat, is it Indie Fat Boys?
Oh, was it Indie Fat Boys or Indie Fat?
No, guys.
One of those.
One of them.
Either way, it's with a Z. That's the most important part.
That's the most important part. Z, no matter what. And the rate definitely. We agreed if we do this, the rate eventually will go up. But at first, to get people to get it booked, we would cut the rate for the Indie Fat Boys. For anybody out there listening, for Stu Bennett and myself, aka Wade Barrett, to team as the Indie Fat Boys. Very real thing. The fat suits have been selected. We did do our homework on it. I told him I don't know if it's going to work or not, but if you want it, if you want to book it, we will cut the rate for it. So,
but you're not getting out of the suits the entire show. It'll
nope.
Suits stay
we
on.
come in, Indie Fat Boys up strong, and we do our shit and we get out.
All right.
All right, my number 3 is it's really stepping outside the box here, Buck.
Mm-hmm.
I messaged you this yesterday on the car ride as I was thinking in the car of these. This came to me. This idea came to me of different gimmicks for the big guy on the independents. This one is really out there, everybody. But sometimes you just got to say fuck it. And the big gay Ryback.
Yep. I have it on my list too.
Baby got Ryback. Dicks all over the singlet. And catchphrases feed me dicks. I'm the last guy you guys want to see be gay because I could forcefully just, throw my will upon you and you can't stop me. I'm the big gay. And you thought Goldust was bad back in the day. You've seen nothing yet. Get me in that ring with another man and watch the damage that I do. There's not going to be a lot of kids watching, but God damn it, it's going to be entertaining.
I had the same character in mind. I thought theme song, if Eddie can play a little It's Raining Men, hopefully start this off.
It's Raining Men.
More effeminate colors of the singlet. Penises all over, I agree.
I
now,
like
do you think
penises all over the singlet.
Do you stay bald or do you bring back do you bring back the old bleached hair that a la...
We'll get into that later. Nope, I stay bald for this one.
You stay bald, okay.
Yeah.
I think you need a new finish. It reminded me of... There was actually many independent gimmicks I did.
The pile driver, the tombstone pile driver, but I just fall back on my back into the 69 position. Jeez, and I pin myself every match.
There was an independent tag team
What a
called the
gay
Christopher Street Connection in the New York area, but I don't even know if they were gay in real life, but they would do like total spot. They would actually like fucking do crisscross spots and like the old do-si-do thing with tag teams, like shoot to the corner, do-si-do. Normally babyfaces like clothesline or duck something, and they would just make out, and the whole crowd would just fucking. The whole crowd would be like, "Holy shit, they're kissing!"
You can't look away, you can't leave, but you goddamn it, you're angry.
I do think though there's something here where there's never been a gay character that's just an ass kicker. And like I know Darren Young came out, but they've never embraced that on TV. Like they're too scared to go down like, hey, I'm a gay dude and I'm gonna fucking kick the shit out of someone, you know? Like,
yeah, it's always been very feminine, it feels like.
Effeminate, yeah.
I wonder if, you know what's funny, and this is, but like back in the day, if you go back and look at like Stone Cold Steve Austin images, he's wearing like tight short jean shorts and a gold chain. His ears are pierced. If you like take that, but when I was a kid, I never looked at him like he's like a badass. Mm-hmm. But like he like the way that you think about that, like it's the dressing, but like he just had big fucking legs. Probably no shorts fit him. He's a big son of a bitch. And he's not gay, but I'm just saying, like that character. You imagine him being gay, like, but still just doing like,
the same thing.
It's never been done. I don't know.
That would be fucking awesome.
There's always rumors of I've always heard rumors and things, the rumors and innuendo, if you will, of and we won't say any names of other wrestlers out there that are big menacing men that are like, but they're possibly that.
Sure.
And like. That's just people's perception of things are weird, but the big gay, you can't fucking stop him. Even if you want to, you can't.
That's funny.
Holy shit! What are we fucking doing on this show?
I don't know.
This is we've hit an all-time low. But our listens, by the way, thank you to everybody out there listening. We hit a record high this past week. We're at a whole new level. We continue to grow, and we're growing at a great rate. And so please continue to share this podcast with your friends. And it's humbling that this many people are following me and following Pat now on this part of our lives and this journey we called life. Thank you. It means the world to us. So I wanted to throw that in there.
Number two, because I'm kind of going back and forth. I have a couple more, but I think you have one similar. So I call him American Indian Ryback. Okay.
Yeah, so, we may possibly do.
But now you think when you hear this name that it's Native American, but it's really not. See, you're a proud American, but because of all this stuff with Indian culture and all the that heat magnet thing that they put on you, you fully embrace and go full throttle and become an Indian citizen. And I believe that you go back to trunks. You're going to have to get thinner again. I think this time you're going to drop. I think you need to look more Dalsim from Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
You got to be barefoot. You're going to be barefoot with this. We're going to bleach your beard
falling
white.
a lot with my gimp toe in the ring, by the way, asshole. But thank you. It's Jesus.
And we're gonna bleach your beard, but not blonde. It has to be full white. So you're gonna have this leathery. You need real tan, a really, really strong.
Only from the sun. Yeah.
Strong bronze tan, white beard, and that's what I got.
So that my number 2 is the exact same thing, but I'm going to go more in depth with this.
Okay.
And before I say my name and what I have is this past week, and for everybody out there, we made comments on this podcast. I did when Pat referencing WWE merchandise, I believe, not doing well in India, and I said it in a joking. It was never meant as anything serious, but it got taken. We talked about it much more in depth than what was quoted online by a lot of the places, I believe, where I said, well, no shit, people in India don't have money. And then we elaborated on that further, talking about how they're either really poor or really rich. There's no middle class essentially over there. And I've been there multiple times. We said it on the podcast already. I'm very sympathetic to the situation. This podcast is for entertainment purposes. We do things to get people to laugh, to forget about life while they're listening to this podcast.
Sure.
But there's people out there that want to make me look bad and that want to report things. And what happened is a lot of the online reporters and things of that nature took a small portion or a portion of what I said and didn't get the entire conversation. So unless you listen to the podcast, you don't know any different. And they try to paint me in a negative light. And I recently made a tweet this past week saying, I love India, I love their culture, I love the people over there. Like, I've been there, and like if you go back, Google or YouTube Ryback in India and see the thousands of people, and it was a great experience, and I've been there multiple times, and it's like, God damn it, guys, quit fucking trying to look for things that aren't there. And recently, and this past week, Ryan Satin,
Okay.
that reporter guy, he does reporting on shit. And I wish these guys didn't report on this shit. I wish they would just go get real jobs, first of all, because I feel like that's not a real job. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, go do something that really fucking makes the world better. Quit this bullshit. But they do it. They love wrestling, and they feel like they want to make money on it somehow, so they report on other people's lives. So if you're going to report on other people's lives, do your homework, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the truth on the situation. And recently there was an interview with Alberto Del Rio that completely the interview was from a wrestling site that asked the question. They completely misquoted and just came up with whatever they wanted to come up with and said that I said it to him.
Because you can take anything from anything and like a sentence out of context,
yeah,
and switch
With
around the
anything.
meaning completely. Yeah.
You got to take the full thing. And these places don't do that. They take a little thing, they make a headline clickbait fucking thing out of it, and they try to get clicks. That's all they do. And that's what I want to raise awareness with people. And it's not just me, it's everybody. This shit is happening left and right. And so anyways, Alberto was asked something that I never said, and he was very positive towards me, but he had mentioned something that was a stupid comment, and it was. If I had said that, that was a stupid comment, but I didn't say it. So it doesn't bother me because I never said that. What bothers me is other places take this quote and then regurgitate it and try to change it up. And like, so anyways, the Ryan Satin guy came out with something that Ryback, retracts his statement about India, blah, blah, saying he loves Indian people and their culture. And I had to contact this guy and find him, and because one of my fans sent it over to me on Twitter, and it's like, what are you talking about? I never retracted anything. Mm-hmm. I said I like India and I like their people on my podcast weeks ago, and I was referencing a misquote that was since taken off and changed. What are you talking about? Because he does that, he puts that, and then he puts the old quote, which he didn't do the homework on and listen to the whole podcast, which wasn't the entire quote to begin with, and then he ends it with, I'm not sure, what Ryback's, I'm really not sure what part was misinterpreted about it. But the guy's completely fucking wrong on what he's reporting to begin with. So he's making comments about the wrong entire thing. And I had to go, and it's like, he's not a bad guy, I'm sure, and all that. But it's like, these guys report shit, and they don't realize they hurt your brand and your image when they don't fucking do their homework. It's like, guys, just fucking be better than that. Don't report shit unless you know it is a fact. And you know how you know it's a fact? Go back and listen to the podcast and listen to the entire thing and make your own judgment on it before you read another fucking dirt sheet headline, and then, I'm going to fucking go off of that. And like, it's just, it really bothers me. But with that said, in good spirits about this whole thing, I believe the character needs to be called Rybu.
Oh, Rybu. I love it.
Rybu, a man that represents the people of India. It's not feed me more, guys. It's feed them more.
Oh my God.
It's not about me anymore. And all people of Indian descent, if you are from India, you get free Feed Me More nutrition for life. Rybu is about making sure that I am an Indian patriarch, Pat. That's what I am.
That's what
Does
you
that
are.
make sense?
You're a hero to the Indian nation. I believe that.
And I want to make this right, and that is Rybu.
Rybu sending pre-workout, starting riots.
Starting riots, people just all hyped up fucking rioting.
On pre-workout, thinking that message is for them. Feed me more. Fuck.
This is fun. I like it.
I'm on my number one. I'm ready for this
Your
one.
number one isn't mine. I know it already, so go ahead.
I have big
My
faith
number
in this
one, I could legit pull off number one, which I think will be number one on the polls. I think it will win.
Really? I don't know about this.
100% could pull this off and make it my own, and it's been done numerous times. It's been a main event character every time.
Really?
Yeah. I'll let you go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Okay. My number one, I gave much thought to this. So there was massive rumors about, we talked about this in past episodes, about your MMA stuff or, you know, Bellator stuff. This one trumps it all, okay? So now, mind you, we're independent wrestling, but this is where it starts here. The name is Butterback.
I see. This is a boxing gimmick, I could tell.
Yep. So, sorry, I was taking a drink here.
I love boxing. You know I love boxing. So
this is what we're going to do. We're going to book Butterbean at WrestlePro for a few appearances.
Is he still going?
He does make appearances. I don't know if he's still going. I don't think he's fighting anymore. He's got to be a bit old. Think about how old he was when he fought.
Yeah. I haven't. I'm going to look that up actually after this. I would like to see. I bet you he's still.
Probably. How old is he?
He still has a hell of a right hand.
So the way Butterback would work is we'd book Butterbean for WrestlePro, and you would take him on. So this would just be a one. I want to look
another
up
a brawl for all or a wrestling match.
Oh no, this is he's 50 years old, by the way.
Wait, he's only 50. Wait, is he only 50?
50 years old. He's 5'11".
I wonder how old was he during the brawl for all stuff? I wonder.
That's got to be what, 20 years ago? Was that 97? So
he had a hell of a boxing career, right?
Well, the tough man competitions, he would win. They'd put him on pay-per-view, I think. That was his thing, right? It was like a separate. I don't know if
he fought professionally too, didn't he? Though.
Well, let's pull this up. Eric Esch. He's from Bay City, Michigan. I love the idea of Butterbean.
I love the entire thing of it. Just.
He fought boxing career. Professional boxing record, total wins 77, 58 by knockout, 10 losses, 4 draws.
What a hell of a record.
Yeah. Kickboxing, he fought in 7.
No shit.
3 wins, 2 by knockout, 4 losses.
That's, dude, still.
MMA record, 28 total fights, 17 wins, 6 by knockouts, 10 losses, 1 draw.
In MMA.
A lot of guys don't realize that people like Butterbean and like Bob Sapp, like, they fight so much and make a ton of money but they're not necessarily like very notable.
They're not for promotions that have a lot of eyes on them. As far as from the man. So you fight that much, man. What a fucking! I didn't realize. I'm gonna look this. I'm gonna actually, no joke, tonight after this podcast, I'm gonna watch Butterbean fights.
Sounds like fun.
Dude, it is. I'm gonna put it on my big TV. And fucking watch Butterbean MMA fights. I would love to watch. I did not know he fought in the MMA.
So Butterback, so we bring him into WrestlePro, and you foot the bill for this. So because this is your investment, because you're gonna beat him with one punch.
All right.
After the match, a big emotional hug, speech. he gives you his trunks and announces that you're the new tough man. So that you transform into Butterback.
Wait, does he pull down his trunks in the ring?
No,
what the fuck is going on right now?
It's like
how
Rocky.
does he give me?
Come on, like Apollo. Apollo gives Rocky.
Yeah.
He's passing the torch. He has another pair specially made. We'll just add that into the fucking equation.
Yeah, we need to clear that up because otherwise the big gay is about to fucking debut.
So you're clean shaven now. No beard.
Oh wow! I don't remember the last time I've shaved my beard off. Holy shit!
You have to stop working out, and then we just start having boxing matches on independent wrestling shows. And
I don't even train wrestling. I just train boxing all the time. Eat as much as I can, day in, day out, as much junk. Yeah. Cholesterol through the roof, blood pressure.
We need you to get to
400,
at least 450 pounds. So he was 425. He was my height. So
I feel like I would look so horrible fat. Like my body, man. I would just put it. My love handles would be goddamn. I can't even imagine what a project that would be, though. You imagine the people like just letting myself go all the way, quit working out everything, and just eat junk. Because I can eat so much food, Pat. I could get so fucking.
It's the dream, dude. I mean, I think it would be so
do
amazing.
This podcast and just book me up strong every week. The rate goes down, obviously, but people show up in
the rate goes down.
Numbers. The rate goes down, but people show up in record numbers to see Ryback just completely let himself go.
Yeah, but there's one. It has to be the food's included, but the rate goes down.
Yeah, hotel, rental car, and food included.
And trips to Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut and Sizzlers and Golden Corrals.
I think that, what was I saying about Butterbean? I lost track of thought with that. But
my number one's the total opposite of this.
Okay. So I think there's longevity in this, and I'm looking forward to a Butterback run. I like the name Butterback. I think it's great.
Outside of the big gay, there's in Rybu probably. I could make all these work in one way or the other. Homeless Ryback would be a lot of fun.
He's a sleeper pick, man. Homeless Ryback.
Homeless Ryback. I wasn't expecting that. You fucking got me with it. The photo ops and buying drugs during the match. Fucking money.
Fuck.
All right, number one for me, which I think I could pull this off completely and I already know for a fact I can make this work, is Big Daddy Ryback. I grow my hair just out short length.
Okay.
I bleach that in my beard. And it's essentially doing Superstar Billy Graham, which Hulk Hogan, which Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, in which I then take the torch from that character because I grow my hair out still really good. And as you know, I was a big fan of all those guys growing up. Maybe I hop on a little gas. Mm-hmm. Especially because I'm not drug tested. I say fuck it. I go against everything I believe in, and for the sake of the gimmick. And the big guy Ryback is on the attack. Feed me if you need me. That's the fucking catchphrase.
So we need some. I think you need what's her name coming out with you too? Phoenix Marie. You need some.
Phoenix Marie, the porn star, would come out with me. It'd be very edgy. I would switch to the biker shorts with an airbrushed image of me on my ass.
Okay.
And Phoenix Marie with me. Me and Cody Rhodes have actually discussed having her with me on the indies, in which she sells the big guy testosterone booster at the gimmick table for me. And we do a rate together, in which I can't remember in detail. We had a long car ride overseas, and this was in Europe. We talked about this entire gimmick, in which she, whenever she holds the microphone up to her mouth, she always tries to fit it in her mouth. And I got to pull it back a little bit. But she holds it upside down while doing it.
Okay.
And doesn't realize that it needs to be flipped around. In Phoenix and me, I haven't talked to her in quite a while, but we always got along very well. But there could be legs behind that gimmick, I feel like. Okay. I've actually way back when texted her over that. She 100% would do wrestling gimmicks with me, she said, in appearances.
Now you think with something like this, do you think you go down? I'm a big fan of passing the torch Do you have Scotty Steiner kind of as a manager, as an added attraction? Do you have something like that?
That never works.
You don't think so?
I don't think when's the last time that has worked?
Let me think about that. Fuck.
I can't remember one time that has gotten over all the way on its own.
It's true.
I think maybe for a show, that's a deal.
Yeah.
But
not a consistent basis. Not a package deal.
Because that goes Big Daddy Ryback. Feed me if you need me. Fuck.
So let's review this. We have the All-American.
The All-American big guy.
With the American Indian Ryback.
Ryback.
We have the Big Gay. We have Butterback. We have
Flyback.
We have Indie Fat Guy, which is a tag team, and Homeless Ryback
and Big Daddy Ryback. Yeah.
And Big Daddy Ryback are your choices this week. Which one should we start taking the independent wrestling world by storm in maybe late 2017?
We'll throw a poll up on Twitter, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the CWTBG on the Conversation with the Big Guy podcast. We're going to try to get some more followers on that, and everything relating to this podcast going on that right there. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Big Daddy Ryback. I think that one, I could pull that one off. The rest are kind of we could pull any of these off. Losing 90 pounds, I think, is pretty fucking funny. I would have to really alter my life on that. Just my whole diet would change completely on that. But yeah, that's your choices for this week. We'll throw that up on Monday. We'll see how many. I don't know how many we can get up. Maybe we have to do multiple polls across all the social media platforms, but we'll get it done. And let us know your feedback, and we'll see what the people have chosen. But that's it for me, Pat. You got anything else this week?
That's it for me. You can follow me on all platforms. Buck Never Stops.
I'm at Ryback22 on Twitter. The Big Guy Ryback22 on Instagram. Ryback247 on Snapchat. Feed Me More Nutrition at Feed Me More Nutrition on Facebook. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for listening. You've just listened to another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy.
Napa know-how.
Every car on the road today deserves quality parts and Napa know-how, but none more than your dream car, especially if you got it 10 years after it came out. Boy, did your patience pay off, because here you are toting your swagger about town like the gentleman motorist you are at a fraction of the cost. And with some quality parts and a little